This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Coopers Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Tuesday, March 5, 2024. Security experts express mixed views about whether the new police commissioner should come from outside the force. Meanwhile, former police commissioner Rear Admiral Hartley Lewin says anyone vying to replace Major General Anthony Anderson should be subjected to extensive vetting. Criminologist Dr. Jason Mackay says massive jailbreak in Haiti could pose a threat to Jamaica. The Jamaica Environment Trust is calling for permits approved for bauxite alumina company Wendalco to be suspended. In regional news, there's been a $184 million drug bust in Trinidad and Tobago. In international news, UN says rape likely committed in Hamas attack on Israel. In sports, former champions Cavalier missed a chance to retake lead in the Jamaica Premier League. And in business this morning, Barita Investments Limited announces the appointment of a new chief executive officer. The details after the break.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Catch the first news of the day, a comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. There are mixed views from security stakeholders about whether the Police Services Commission should look outside the JCF when choosing the new police commissioner. The commission has started interviewing persons to succeed Major General Anthony Anderson, whose tenure at the helm of the police force is set to expire at the end of the month. But some stakeholders say the search for his replacement should extend beyond the force. Shalois Michael reports.
Major General Anthony Anderson took the job as police commissioner on a 3-year contract on March 18, 2018. His contract was renewed for another 3 years in 2021. Reports are that he has not indicated whether he would return as the head of the JCF or if he'll be renewing his contract, which expires at the end of March. The Police Service Commission started interviewing candidates on Monday. The 4 deputy commissioners have been invited to interview for the job. The search is also open to persons outside the JCF. The University of the West Indies' leading expert on national security and economic development, Professor Anthony Clayton, says outside applicants should be considered to ensure the best person for the job is selected.
I am all in favour of inviting applications from abroad. for a number of reasons. One of them is that you never know if you've got the best candidates if you don't look at the widest pool. The JCF have always preferred internal candidates. I myself think that there's a danger in that. The strength is that you get somebody who knows the situation that they're going to have to police, but the risk is that over time, you develop a more introverted culture, and that is really good. So even if you don't appoint somebody from outside, it's always a good idea to throw the door open and invite applications from outside.
But a criminologist and a security expert, Dr. Jason Mackay, says the next leader of the JCF should come from the 4 current Deputy Commissioners of Police, DCPs, who've all been invited to interviews for the post.
I think it's important that you look on the work that has been done over the last 6 years, and if you think it's positive, and I do, that you'd like to keep it going. And I think the 4 deputies were the ones who would have run the main departments of the force over the last 6 years. And I think it's a credible performance during the tenure of Major Anderson. So I believe we should select from the actual core of deputies that are there. I think the most important thing is to select someone who can motivate the 14,000 strong workforce. And if it's motivated, you're likely to get a better performance. That now will more than likely happen if you select someone from within the force.
The 4 current DCPs are Head of the Crime and Security Portfolio, Fitz Bailey, Head of the Strategic Operations, Clifford Blake, Head of Administration and Support Services, Richard Stewart, and Head of Force Development and Logistics, Dr. Kevin Blake. Professor Clayton says the 4 are strong candidates to consider as a police commissioner.
For the first time in a long time, we've actually got a very strong pool of candidates, at least the ones that we know about. But the challenge here is this. You don't necessarily appoint somebody to be a commissioner on the basis of a very strong track record to date. You have to think about what challenges the force will be facing over the next few years, what the critical tasks are. And then from there, you work out what is the skill set that we most need at this point, and then you match that against the best candidates who put themselves forward.
Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, former Police Commissioner Rear Admiral Hardley Lewin says anyone vying to replace Major General Anthony Anderson should be subjected to extensive vetting. He was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday.
In seeking to appoint a new commissioner of police, I think the first order of business is that we need to know who we are considering. And I have a 3-stage approach. The first step, the applicants must submit to what I call a smell test. And the smell test would be polygraph and an inquiry into areas of professional history. We do not want a commissioner coming to the job who have skeletons. It compromises his or her ability to lead effectively. And secondly, under the smell test is the examination of finances and other assets, and you seek explanation for anything that might be outliers.
Rear Admiral Lewin says the vetting process for the next police commissioner must also include looking at the leadership and professional abilities of the candidate.
What kind of commissioner does the force need at this time in terms of what leadership style is best suited for the force today? And matching that, one would have to ask, how do the applicants match up to those traits, those styles that you're looking for in the commissioner of police? You have to inquire into areas of their professional history. You do not want a commissioner who comes there with skeletons who can be compromised because of some issue of probity or some in his past, yeah? Coupled with that, I know they're required to make annual returns and so on, but maybe you have to go further. Let's look at the finances, assets, and so on. Now, I had to do these too. I had to undergo them to become commissioner, so it's nothing new.
Rear Admiral Hardley Lewin, former police commissioner. UWI Professor Anthony Clayton says Haiti is a failed state which poses a major threat to several other Caribbean countries. Professor Clayton made the statement Monday evening on Nationwide at 5.
Haiti is a failed state. Let's be honest about this. It meets all the criteria for a failed state. The police and the security services are outnumbered and outgunned. The government has no elected members left. It is not seen as having democratic legitimacy. And the country is falling apart. The infrastructure is being destroyed in the gang warfare. Most of the Haitians are going north rather than into Jamaica. Population of Turks and Caicos has gone up by 25% in under 10 years, and all of those are Haitian illegal immigrants. In in a few years' time, Turks and Caicos is going to become a majority Haitian country. It's not quite at that stage yet in the Bahamas, but it's becoming so. Now, these countries are under existential threat, and they are going to have to build the capacity some way or other to deal with this.
Haiti is entering its second day of a 72-hour state of emergency. The Haitian government declared the SOE after armed gangs stormed two major prisons over the weekend. At least 12 people were killed, and about 3,700 inmates escaped in the jailbreak. There are fears that some of those criminals could make their way to Jamaica. Kenya plans to lead a UN-sanctioned 1,000-strong multinational security force to Haiti to help bring stability back to the country. But Professor Clayton says more than 30,000 troops are needed on the ground in Haiti.
But as those corridors close, the Haitians will look for other ways out. And at that point, I would expect the problem to start to spill over into other adjacent states, including this one. This is something that we have to get ready for now. This is unfortunately an inevitable consequence. We've done the math on this. You would need a military intervention of at least 30,000 troops to stabilize the situation. So the thousands of police officers who have been promised from Kenya are not going to do anything to avert this coming fate.
Professor Anthony Clayton, University of the West Indies leading expert on national security and economic development. And criminologist Dr. Jason Mackay says while he's not overly concerned about the jailbreak in Haiti, it does represent a threat to Jamaica. Dr. Mackay says the jailbreak could worsen the already serious guns for drugs trade between Jamaica and Haiti.
It does represent some degree of a threat. I mean, we're talking about 4,000 persons who perhaps want to leave the states where they are to avoid being recaptured, and there is history of Haitian criminals actually reaching Jamaican shores before. So among the many threats we face, this is an additional one that we have to look on. The Haitian gun for drugs trade has been a major problem in the national security of the country, and this now just makes it worse.
Dr. Jason Mackay, criminologist and security expert. Meanwhile, former police commissioner Rear Admiral Harley Lewin is expressing confidence that Jamaica's national security forces can respond to any potential threat posed by the Haitian jailbreak.
We have to consider them, and they're well-founded. We're very close to Haiti. They have the means of getting here and so on. But, I have every confidence that our security apparatus and persons are looking at this issue and will be putting measures in place just to mitigate any problems arising from the situation in Haiti. So I'm quite sure they're doing it.
Rear Admiral Harley Lewin, former police commissioner, the men were speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. The Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, is calling for the suspension of permits issued to bauxite alumina company Windalco. The call comes after toxic effluent again polluted the Rio Cobre on the weekend. The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, says the pollution resulted in a minor fish kill. NEPA has reportedly instructed Windalco to neutralize the contaminated water to prevent further damage. CEO of JET, Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody, says previous attempts by NEPA and Windalco to prevent further pollution of the Rio Cobre have failed. She says Windalco shouldn't be allowed to operate until effective measures are in place to prevent more pollution incidents.
We need to understand what happened. Why did it happen? Because we were assured from when they were implementing their previous or their second effluent holding pond, which I think was completed in August 2023, we were assured that an incident like this would never happen again. But clearly something went wrong, and clearly one of the measures that were put in place were not adequate. And so we need to see that Windalco needs to ensure that comprehensive measures the public needs to ensure that comprehensive measures are being put in place to prevent future pollution incidents, and I don't believe that Windalco should be allowed to operate while it's taking place. We need to be assured that it won't happen again, because if heavier rains were to fall, would we see this again?
Dr. Rodriguez Moody says NEPA must engage independent experts to assess the effectiveness of measures implemented by Windalco. She adds that the current penalties for those guilty of environmental pollution, they're insufficient. Dr. Rodriguez Moody is calling on the government to keep its promise of increasing the fines.
polluters need to be fined appropriately. And we have had very low fines for many years. They have been acknowledged that they're low, and we need to increase them. Promises have been made, but they still have not been increased. So we need to see an urgent increase in fines and penalties, and that is in relation to the NRCA Act and the Wildlife Protection Act, because right now they're insufficient to deter any environmental violations.
Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody, CEO of the Jamaica Environment Trust. Meanwhile, Dr. Rodriguez Moody notes that monitoring of the Rio Cobre must be enhanced to prevent further pollution.
We are also calling for greater monitoring of the Rio Cobre, and this is very extremely important. Greater monitoring, which includes the frequency as well. So we are also calling for an establishment of, say, an automated waterway monitoring system, which would allow for even more timely pollution of detection events. Because what happened was that it was the community that had to report it and get in touch with NEPO. And we need to be more proactive. We need to see more proactive action, because it took place. The event started from the Friday afternoon.
And Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody, who is the CEO of JET. Now, the recent killing of a man in Savlamore, Westmoreland was a reprisal attack for shooting in Frome 3 days earlier, in which 3 persons were killed. That's according to the commanding officer for the Area 1 Police, ACP Clifford Chambers. The deceased is identified as 24-year-old Jeremy Maxwell, otherwise known as Biggs. He was killed and another injured in front of a funeral home on Darling Street, Savlamore, on Saturday. Maxwell is said to be a member of the campaign team of Councillor-elect for the Savlamore Division, Julian Chang. Reports are that Maxwell and another person were on a motorcycle in his community when he was shot and killed and his pillion injured. ACP Chambers told our news centre that the Darling Street and Frome communities are currently facing a gang conflict. However, he says the murder was not politically motivated. 7 persons were shot, 3 fatally in Frome last week, Wednesday. The deceased men are identified as Kamar Smith, Everall Rowe, and Andre MacDonald. It's reported that the 7 individuals were patrons at a bar when a white Toyota Axio car drove up. 2 men reportedly exited the vehicle and opened fire at the patrons before escaping. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Bun to me cheese, give me yummy. Bun to me cheese, bun to me cheese, give me yummy. Don't stop at just a 1 slice, please. No other bun, perfect for me. Yummy. For real Jamaican flavor and quality for sure this Easter. Make yummy the bun to your cheese. Yummy. Give me yummy, yummy. Give me yummy for the Easter. Yummy bun zeta, yummy for me family, yummy for me sir. Bun to me cheese, bun to me cheese, yummy. Bun to me cheese, bun to me cheese. Best bun. Give me yummy.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news, the Trinidad and Tobago Police seized more than $165 million worth of high-grade Colombian marijuana and more than $19 million in cocaine in a multi-agency intelligence-led police exercise in the village of Cedros on Sunday. 60 bales of marijuana strain, which police said is known as Hydro Creepy, and 12 packets of cocaine were discovered in a forested area of Austin Trace in Coromandel Village. Senior Superintendent Brian Sedin, who led and supervised the operation, says the seizure of the narcotics came after 4 days of surveillance in the district. He says the officers attempted to arrest several Spanish-speaking men who were near the narcotics, but due to the difficult terrain, the men escaped. Each of the bales contained approximately 50 blocks of high-grade marijuana. The narcotics haul was extracted from the forested area with a 3-ton truck and transported to the Marabella police station, where it was weighed. International news now. A UN team has concluded there are reasonable grounds to believe sexual violence, including rape and gang rape, was committed during the Hamas attacks in Israel on October 7. They also said there was convincing information that hostages had been subjected to sexual violence. The trip was led by the UN Special Representative on Sexual Violence in Conflict, Pramila Patten. Hamas has denied its gunmen sexually assaulted women during the attacks. The UN report said the mission team found that there are reasonable grounds to believe that conflict-related sexual violence occurred in multiple locations during the October 7 attacks. These happened in at least 3 locations: the Nova Musical Festival site and its surroundings. Hamas gunmen infiltrated southern Israel on October 7, killing about 1,200 people and taking 253 others hostage. Israel responded by launching a military campaign in Gaza, during which 30,500 people have been killed. That's according to the Hamas-run health ministry. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
Know your numbers and take control of your life. Don't wait till it's too late. Check your doctor today. Yeah. Get a BMI check, your blood pressure check, your blood sugar and cholesterol check. We're living well when we stay on top of our health. Know your numbers and take control of your life. Don't wait till it's too late. Check your doctor today. Know your numbers and take control. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Touching lives every day, so many different ways, a part of all you do. Sagicor will make you feel secure, reaching out for more, will always see you through. Reach for more, whatever you're dreaming, whatever your goals, will help you achieve them. You're never alone. Taking care of today's needs, take care of tomorrow's dreams. Every day helping you succeed, that's what Sagicor means. Today's needs, tomorrow's dreams. Sagicor.
In your morning sports report, former champions Cavalier failed in their bid to retake the lead in the Ray Nephew Jamaica Premier League after coming from behind to draw 1-1 with Humber Lion at Stadium East on Monday night. Andre Clennon shot to the Clarendon-based Humber Lion in front after 56 minutes. However, Jalmara Calvert slammed home his 10th goal of the season on 72 minutes to push Cavalier to 44 points, 2 behind leaders and champions Mount Pleasant Academy. Meanwhile, Dunby Holden leapfrogged Waterhouse into the final playoff spot thanks to a polished 3-0 over Harbourview. Dwight Merrick, Carlington Blackwood and Rajay Smith got the goals for Dunby Holden, who are now up to 6th and 33 points, 3 more than Waterhouse. Now, round 4 of the West Indies Championships bowls off with the usual 4 matches in Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and Antigua on March 13. However, veteran cricket commentator Joseph Reds Pereira believes that the league could be better promoted. Pereira says that there needs to be a relationship between CWI, the hotels, and the tourist boards across the region to better promote the tournament.
As the individual hotels. I mean, we have thousands of British tourists in the Caribbean. I don't believe that you have that kind of promotion at the level of, let's say, the trade union, the level of the Ministry of Education. How come we don't see under 19 forms going to cricket? How come we don't see the private sector being involved? I don't believe that there's been any kind of real promotion. To say that it will be on YouTube or it might be on ESPN. It's not really cutting it.
Pereira also says the players and technical staff need to be more accessible to the media.
As a schoolboy, and this used to be happening for quite a long time, you have schools going to watch cricket. Secondary schools in Jamaica or throughout the Caribbean going to watch cricket is not possible. The Chamber of Commerce, they have a large membership. Can they play a small role in sensitizing? You don't hear interviews on radio, on talk shows. You don't get the captains and the coaches on the talk shows, and there are umpteen talk shows in the region. Wow. From Jamaica right down to Ghana.
Joseph Reds Pereira, veteran cricket commentator. Purdue's Jamaican freshman Nathaniel Thomas continues to rise rapidly up the all-time Jamaican performer rankings. Competing at the Big Ten Championships, he continued to make major inroads in the 100-yard freestyle, 50 freestyle, and 100 backstroke. Thomas came to the conference championships with a personal best time of 44.93. He dropped more than a half a second to record a time of 44.39. That has moved him from 9th to 5th on the all-time Jamaican performers list. The fact that he's a freshman and the fastest active Jamaican swimmer puts the spotlight on him to set the national best soon. Finally, in sports, Edith Dalton James High maintain their unbeaten run in the Issa Tip Friendly Society Schoolgirls football competition, stopping St. Jago 5-0 yesterday. This was Edith's second win over St. Jago and their 7th straight win. Coach of Edith Dalton, Amar Taff, says they were in control of the match from the first whistle.
Well, I play a very excellent game today. Total teamwork, having Jago on the back of the foot from the beginning of the game. Tanishka Ratri scored 2 and Olivia Nava scored 2. Can't complain, just looking forward to the next game, which is Tivoli on Wednesday. So for now, we're just taking it one game at a time until the second round.
Omar Taff. In other results, Old Harbour High beat Eltham 3-2. Yalis beat Morant Bay 4-0. DeCarteret College beat Malgally 2-1. Hampton beat Stets 2-0. Garvey Masayer hammered Bridgeport 16-0. Seaforth and Buff Bay drew 1-1. Greater Portmore and Kemps Hill drew 2-2. Immaculate and Merlegrove drew 1-1. And Christiana beat Fogar Road 4-0. That's it for your morning sports.
Stand out among competitors. Show your commitment to quality. Submit your entry in the Bureau of Standards Jamaica National Quality Awards Program. Your entry provides the opportunity for a free comprehensive assessment of your organization's management system and facilitates improvement in effectiveness and efficiency. This prestigious award associates your organization with performance excellence. Step into a world of excellence. Gain access to international markets. Enter today.
Call 618-1534. The Bureau of Standards Jamaica, making standards work for you.
In business this morning, Barita Investments Limited has a new Chief Executive Officer CEO. In a statement on Monday, the company announced that Ramon Small Ferguson would take over the post. He is replacing Dane Broadber, who's been acting in the position since May 7, 2022. Mr. Broadber will continue as Chief Executive Officer of Barita's sister company, Cornerstone Trust and Merchant Bank Limited. He'll also assume leadership responsibility for the financial holding company to be established within the Cornerstone Group of companies. Mr. Small Ferguson, who is currently the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of Barita and Managing Director of Barita Unit Trust's Management Company Limited, joined Barita as Vice President of Asset Management Research in April 2019. Before joining Barita, Mr. Small Ferguson was the Chief Investment Strategist and Head of Research at the investment banking arm of the Jamaican National Group. The Chairman and Board welcomed Ramon to his new position and extended their appreciation to Dane for his invaluable leadership during his tenure as interim CEO. Now, VM Group says its CEO, Courtney Campbell, is set to receive the coveted Achievement Award from the American Friends of Jamaica AFJ International Achievement Award. AFJ is a highly regarded charity organization that for over 40 years has provided well-needed support in education, healthcare, and economic development to Jamaica. In a statement, the VM Group noted that Mr. Campbell will receive the coveted award at a gala event in Florida on May 4, 2024. The award recognizes his career achievements and his unrelenting drive to effect meaningful improvements to people's lives, including through his spirited advocacy for financial inclusion, his chairmanship of the VM Foundation, his service to the Governor General Jamaica Trust, the Council of World Missions, the National Education Trust, and other endeavors. Mr. Campbell says he's deeply honored and humbled by this recognition from the AFJ. The VM Group CEO says he considers this a team award and is eternally grateful to his colleagues, friends, and family who've played an immeasurable role in his life and career so far. Past recipients of this award include President of JetBlue Airways, Dave Barger, Chairman of Digicel, Dennis O'Brien, Chairman of Island Outpost, Chris Blackwell, President of Island Grill, Thalia Lynn, Usain Bolt, Cedella Marley, former United States President Ronald Reagan, Harry Belafonte, and others. Finally now, in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar has gained 20 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $156.38 against the benchmark U.S. dollar. The Jamaican dollar has gained 96 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $115.69 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican dollar has also gained $2.88 and will open trading this morning, selling for an average $196.79 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:30.
Time to pay your tax? Relax! You've got this with your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card. Use your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card to pay your taxes and get a 1-month payment holiday. New cardholders get first-year annual fee waived. Plus, you get up to 55 days interest-free and earn unlimited reward points every time you spend. So when you're ready to pay your tax, relax! You've got this. Use your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card and enjoy the best rewards ever. Conditions apply.
Prescription to fill? Need urgent medication for a loved one? It's House Call to the rescue. The door-to-door pharmacy delivery service by Horton's Pharmacy in Mandeville. Just drop off your prescription and health card and we'll do the rest. We'll even remind you when your refill is due. Efficient and fast, no long lines, saves time and money. Call Horton's Pharmacy at 962-2246 or 962-4675. House Call. We deliver.
We can light up your world with the rays of the sun, putting pure energy in the palm of your hand.
For over 20 years, Fosrich has been putting a world of energy in your hands. Now we bring you big savings with our line of solar energy products and LED lighting. Financing now available for all your home and commercial retrofit projects. Consult with our in-house staff or certified professional engineers for all your electrical needs. Fosrich Lifestyle. It's electric. Fosrich, your energy world.
God is holy. Protect your life, it's your one and only. Evil people will kill you slowly. All I know is God is holy. Protect your life, it's your one and only. Evil people will kill you slowly.
You see, faith is a key that opens all doors. Yeah, if you believe, patient my brother, you will receive, yeah. Oh, be not offended by negative things that people say. Oh, ay, 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 ay. Oh, popcorn says again.
All I know is God is holy. Protect your life, it's your one and only. Evil people will kill you slowly. All I know is God is holy. Protect your life, it's your one and only. Evil people will kill you slowly. Lifetime contract, me and God never lose contact. Bacon well warm and stock. Them want eat man food like snack. Them judge real, stereotype man true man black. See the enemy I set them trap. Almighty I push them back.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning, the big show on this station, indeed any station. We're very happy to have you. It's the
5th.
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, man. It's taking me a little while to get there, but I knew that. It's the 5th
We
day
all
of
have a
March,
brain freeze now and again.
2024. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Tona Thomas. Good morning to you all. Really, really happy to have you in this space. Yeah, quite grateful. Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I saw Ricardo while I was reading sports.
Yeah.
Christopher Young in the YouTube chat was saying, Tony, you sound surprised about Hampton to win. Because I am not, actually. I've been following the girls in the Issa Tip Friendly Society schoolgirls football competition.
Yeah.
And they've been, Jeremy's a holiday today.
They've been doing well.
And they've been doing pretty well. I think they've now beaten Stets twice.
Hey, King of one bad mind streak in them. You know
what
what saying
did
them
he
years a while ago?
say?
They only win 2 match record.
No, they've won more than 2 matches.
You look at them bad mind, you know.
They've won more than 2 matches. And you know, when you think about Hampton, you don't think about football.
I'm going to say or sports, but I suppose
They-
I think swimming, tennis.
And tennis. Yeah, they do pretty well at tennis. But you don't think about football. But they're showing out, and I'm proud of them. Yeah,
Good.
We can play ball too.
Good.
We can play ball too. Jeremy keeps on saying holiday.
Good morning, Jeremy King. How are you, sir? All is well? Good. Yes. Okay. Oh, I need to find out what happened yesterday. YouTubers, good morning. Those of you listening in on out there in Radio Land, good morning to you. And if you're listening on the app, hello. Very, very happy to have you. What's on your mind this morning?
What's on my mind this morning? You know, Ricardo, I try not to be too quick to cast judgment on people and their circumstances. That's just how I am. Because I think everybody is going through their own problems. And my usual approach is to listen first and try to understand somebody's situation. Yeah? And a lot is being said about the young lady who was murdered on her veranda in Little London, Westmoreland on Saturday, sometime after midnight. Tara Dennis, only 16 years old. And based on the information gathered by the police and shared on our program yesterday, Dennis was a high school dropout and considered a troubled child. She reportedly benefited from some training through state intervention and got a job working in a cafe in Negril, I'm understanding, only 2 weeks ago. And Tara's grandmother says she had faced financial difficulties, that's Tara, and saw this job as an avenue to get herself back into school. An aunt also disclosed that her father was in prison and her mother, no have it, is how she put it. The aunt also expressed that her niece not lived no life yet, and Tara was an innocent picnic, just a try life. Now, we learned yesterday as well from the police that the teen's ex-boyfriend is allegedly a scammer in his 30s, and that the current boyfriend, also in his 30s, may be involved in criminal activity. Now, firstly, this should not be the reality of any 16-year-old girl in Jamaica. On her TikTok, Ricardo, she manifested 7 things. And at number 1, she wanted to graduate. At number 2, to be successful. Number 3, to travel to her favorite countries. Number 4, she wanted a nice house. Number 5, she wanted a walk-in closet. At number 6, she wanted to own a farm. And at number 7, she wanted a loving partner. And the picture that she posted with it were 2 hands held over a Bible with a ring. But at 16, her father was absent from the home. Yeah? And according to Tara's aunt, in prison. Her mother was seemingly around but not present, therefore absent from the crucial responsibility she had to nurture, to guide, and provide for her child. And without more, she appeared to be an absentee mother, not around to catch and address the signs that her youngster was basically left to the elements and other influences. She lived with her grandmother, but her grandmother seemed similarly oblivious to certain things that occupied her granddaughter's life. The family unit, listeners, around her was not strong enough, and her parents did not do enough. And when people, young or old, find a void, they go elsewhere to fill it. It's unfortunate that her story this morning, what is the summary of it? A troubled teenage girl who was allegedly killed by an ex-boyfriend twice her age while she was on her veranda with a current boyfriend who was also twice her age. The unfortunate circumstances of Tara's life, Ricardo, presents another instance upon which parents must introspect. And for those who intend to become parents, they must reflect as well. Ricardo, it's the single most important job you'll have in your lifetime. It's not for the fickle. It's not a job you can quit. It requires shifts and overtime. You know, I recall my dad saying to me when I was a senior in high school, he said, when you intend to become a parent, you first hope your child is healthy and able-bodied. But he also said that with an able-bodied child, you must be present and prepared to fully finance that child for at least 26 years. That has resonated with me. That requires parenting with a purpose and doing the hard work daily. The purpose is to mold your child into the best version of themselves. I find that a lot of that is missing from our society. Ricardo, some only find enjoyment in how the child was made. And that's the only time, quote unquote, hard work went into the process. But after, both parties want to jump ship and pawn off the product of their hard work onto somebody else, grandparents, teachers, the church, extended relatives, and the state. So many homes where men came for a good time and left when the good time introduced long-term responsibilities. These are the common assaults on their offspring, who did not ask to be dealt a dirty hand. We must endeavor to be better parents. Our children are deserving of a fair chance at life. One that doesn't involve dropping out of school at 16, one that doesn't include seeking a job at 16, and one that definitely doesn't include relations with not one but two people twice your age. Furthermore, I beg of the state to put its foot down some more in relation to delinquent parents. You know, I'm reminded of Prime Minister Andrew Holness when he was Education Minister back in 2007, and he said the government would enforce laws against delinquent parents. I'm also similarly reminded that it was the retired senior officer, SSP Steve McGregor, who said delinquent parents would be arrested if their children were found loitering on the streets late at night in Kingston Central. At the time in 2013, SSP McGregor asked, "Can you have your 9 and 12-year-old on the streets at 10 and 11 o'clock at night, and you don't think it is your responsibility to ensure that they're with you?" At the time, SSP McGregor said 5 parents were before the courts in relation to their children's loitering and that the police were preparing somewhere to go for 2 children. He noted finally that this was where practices of robbing and murder begin because our children were being exposed to all kinds of things, and he said it couldn't work. He said they had to stem it from early. The same sentiments ring true today. March 5, 2024. Parents with their children out of school, wiping windscreens across our towns. We see them. You see them. Hold them accountable. Parents who aren't sending their children to school and haven't bothered to seek help to maintain enrollment. Hold them to account. Parents who leave their children at home alone to enjoy selfish interests. Hold them to account. Breaking bad cycles of poor parenting. Of course, will certainly involve moral suasion and some intervention. But where that hasn't worked, the state must put its foot down. Use the law against delinquent parents. Why must every parent or everyone parent except the parent? That's what's on my mind.
Fancy little words I am out in the meditation of your heart. Be acceptable. Or else you know that you're gonna be responsible. Sin. And I say you find yourself with an instrument of influence. Use it in a positive sense. Or else you're gonna pay the consequence. Rebel speaks again. I say be careful what you teach your little children. Make sure I have something to hurt them. Mind what you saying to my sister. She could be the next prime minister. I say if you watch what you saying to me daughter, cause in the long run she could be your doctor. Oh, you fi mention that to me son Dan. I mean no want a little boy fit on a gunman. Still you never listen. Your ears must be missing. Every day you say you're gonna shine and a glisten.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 6:47.
Jumpstart your fitness goals with Express Fitness. Sign up today and restart your fitness journey at an Express Fitness location near you. Enjoy safe, comfortable, and well-equipped gyms from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Call 554-5180 for a full listing of our open locations. Express Fitness. Express Fitness. Your goal, our mission.
Time to pay your tax? Relax! You've got this with your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card. Use your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card to pay your taxes and get a 1-month payment holiday. New cardholders get first-year annual fee waived. Plus, you get up to 55 days interest-free and earn unlimited reward points every time you spend. So when you're ready to pay your tax, relax! You've got this. Use your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card and enjoy the best rewards ever. Conditions apply.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence, and the Road Safety Unit in the Island Traffic Authority.
It's time now for our first update from the streets. Ludlow McLean has Street Smarts. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, Ricardo, and to our listeners of Mountain Public. Tana, good morning.
Hey, to you, Ludlow.
Yeah. I wonder what would have happened if we didn't have such proliferation of vehicles in our country. Because, boy, I tell you, even the traffic signals, motorists tend to whisk past them most times. But, yeah, most times they're really circumspect. And we're really grateful for that. Those of you in the Mona area, Kingston 6, coming in towards Ligone, it's also pretty good going through Ligone at this time. If you're on the other side, coming from places like Hermitage onto Mona Road, you're going to Augusttown, Hermitage, going past the Mona campus, along Mona Road, Wellington Drive, Monroe Road, all these areas heading towards Ola Road. It's pretty good going for the time being. And then going further down past the top of Mountain View to your left and Seaview Avenue to your right, going past Stanton Terrace and going further along Ola Road. Pretty good going. Now, if you're making it along Mountain View Avenue, going past Arthur Wayne Drive, Stanton Terrace, Arthur Wayne Drive, going further down to Deanery, also pretty good going for the morning. But, Mountain View will be later as the morning progresses. If you're making it down to the bottom of Winod Road, and Winod Road and Mountain View, then making that right turn to continue along Winod Road to get onto Victoria Avenue, then from Victoria Avenue to East Queen Street, all the way into downtown King. It's pretty good going for the time. But, however, those of you who are coming from the St. Catherine area, Portmore or Spanish Town, remember, it's not that easy. So we'll talk about that later as the morning progresses. So, for the time being, it's back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Ludlow. Ludlow McLean there with Street Smarts. We'll check in on the other side of 7 for another update. Up next, Tana has the word of the day.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence, and the Road Safety Unit in the Island Traffic Authority.
Your word of the day, sure one you're all familiar with. It's spelled MODUSOPERANDI, spelled MODUSOPERANDI.
Modus operandi. Modus operandi. Modus operandi.
That's the pronunciation you grew up hearing?
Modus operandi.
Modus operandi. Yeah. Modus operandi is your word of the day. It's a noun and it means one's usual way of doing something. Simply one's usual way of doing something. What's your modus operandi? Yeah. MODUSOPERANDI. And let's see if dictionary.com tells us this morning when modus operandi was first recorded. It says first recorded between 1645 and 1655. First recorded between 1645 and 1655. And it comes from New Latin and means literally mode of working, often abbreviated as MO. What is your MO? Your modus operandi. And to use it in a sentence, also provided by dictionary.com this morning, it says, understanding the enemy's modus operandi, the enemy's MO, is crucial in developing effective counter strategies. Understanding your enemy's MO, modus operandi, is crucial in developing effective counter strategies. Modus operandi is your word of the day, meaning one's usual way of doing something. Yeah.
MO.
Your MO. What is your MO? Not going to tell you my MO. But some of my MOs are obvious.
Yes.
We all have routines.
Hate you, Ludlow. It's very much one of your MOs. All right.
You are right.
Here we go. It's easy.
Oh, wait. Hello to you, Carlene Smith.
This is easy.
That is also one of my MOs.
Yes, calling on Carlene.
I call on Carlene Smith. Yeah. So hop on over into the YouTube chat and help me out with the Proverbs because that is my special case. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me see which one of these. All right, let me start with that easy one and then we,
You have more than one?
Yeah, man, 2.
So Ricardo's MO in the mornings.
I don't think that's an MO, no.
Is to push to give me more than one proverb.
Wow. Wow, Jermaine King. Wow. Anyway.
And Jermaine says to order enough liver.
Oh,
for
wow.
That's funny.
That's not my MO. Because most times it's not liver my order. So.
Enough of anything that's on the menu.
Wow. All right, cool. All right, here we go.
So my YouTubers will help me.
Hugs said the first water in catching water. And she don't know it.
You take up the first opportunities you get.
All right, good. All right.
Yeah, that's it now.
Yeah,
It's 6:54.
That's it?
Yes.
Jeremy can't squeeze on more?
No, he can't.
No. All right, fine. All right, cool. All right, yeah, you're right. That's it. Up next, your features at the top of the hour, the news.
An increasing number of people are moving towards vegan diets due to health, animal welfare, or environmental concerns. Veganism is the practice of abstaining from the use of animal products, particularly in diet, and an associated philosophy that rejects the commodity status of animals. Vegan diets tend to be rich in nutrients and low in saturated fats. Research suggests that the diet can improve heart health, protect against cancer, and lower the risk of type 2 diabetes. However, people eating only plant-based foods need to be more aware of how to obtain certain nutrients, including iron, calcium, and vitamin B12 that usually come from an omnivorous diet. Today on Food for Thought, we will look at the health benefits of a vegan diet. Going vegan will help you to lose weight. Vegan diets tend to include plenty of fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds. Eating a variety of these foods will provide a wide range of important vitamins, minerals, healthful fats, and protein. Founder of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine and author of the book Your Body in Balance, Dr. Neil Barnard says, fats contain more calories than carbohydrates.
Some people think, what are you talking about? How can I possibly lose weight because you're eating all those carbs? You're eating rice, you're eating potatoes, you're eating bread, you're eating spaghetti, and there's no limit. In the research studies we do, there's no limit on how much you're eating. And so people sometimes who have been dieting, they're afraid. Carbohydrates, whether it's from bread or pasta or rice, have only 4 calories in a gram, but fats have 9 calories. So what if I throw out all that fatty meat and all that fatty cheese, that's 9 calories per gram, I'm losing, and I'm eating rice instead, only 4 calories per gram in the carbs.
Going vegan can lower blood sugar levels. According to Dr. Barnard, by converting to a vegan diet, diabetics can lower blood sugar levels and improve kidney function.
Don't fire your doctor. If you got diabetes, that's a serious condition.
Sure.
Same for high cholesterol, whatever. But run, do not walk, to a vegan diet. If a person has diabetes, particularly if you catch it early, you've got a good shot of getting rid of it completely. If you've had diabetes for a longer period of time, you still want to go to a vegan diet. It'll improve. In some cases, it will go away. And most importantly, those complications of nerve pain or where your kidneys are attacked or your eyes might be attacked, the likelihood of any of those things can be dramatically reduced by a healthy diet and lifestyle. So do talk to your doctor about it.
A vegan diet may protect against certain cancers. Dr. Barnard explains.
A third of women get cancer at some point. Breast cancer, uterine cancer, colorectal cancer. For men, same story, prostate cancer and others. And you're not going to eliminate all of that, but a plant-based diet can hugely reduce the risk. So you throw out the cigarettes, you throw out the meat and the cheese and so forth, eat healthy things, and your risk of cancer goes way, way down.
Dr. Neil Barnard, founder of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine and author of the book Your Body in Balance. Eating fresh fruits and vegetables, legumes, and fiber is linked to a lower risk of heart disease. Well-planned vegan diets generally include all these foods in large amounts. You should talk to a doctor or dietitian ahead of adopting a vegan diet, especially if you have existing health conditions. That's it for Food for Thought today. Until next time.
Fearless and fair, Nationwide 90 FM.
Picture this. You're waiting in line to buy tickets and you want to do something to pass the time. So what do? Some would choose to go on their phone while others would try to strike up a conversation. But what is proper etiquette while you're waiting in a long line? I'm Tana, and the Lifestyle Pages starts now. Here are some basic rules for chatting with people while waiting in a line. Don't give out personal information if you've never seen him or her before. Don't get into a political discussion. It's dangerous to open this up if you don't know the person's affiliation or the level of passion. Be cautious about discussing religious views. While it's okay to mention the church you attend, if it naturally flows in the conversation, don't make judgmental comments about others. Don't call a stranger by an intimate name. It might be normal for you to address everyone as dear, sweetie, or darling, but it might make someone who isn't used to it feel uncomfortable. I'm Tana, and those were your Lifestyle Pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Help someone today. One act of kindness can go a far way. The time by the Jamaica Information Service is...
It's news time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston or Bay. The temperature by National Supply is
25 degrees Celsius here in Kingston. It's also 25 out west in Montego Bay.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
A very good morning to you. Coming up in the news at 7 for this morning, Tuesday, March 5, 2024. Security experts express mixed views about whether the new police commissioner should come from outside the force. Meanwhile, former police commissioner Rear Admiral Hardley Lewin says anyone vying to replace Major General Anthony Anderson should be subjected to extensive vetting. Criminologist Dr. Jason Mackay says massive jailbreak in Haiti could pose a threat to Jamaica. The Jamaica Environment Trust is calling for permits approved for bauxite alumina company Windalco to be suspended. In international news, the United Nations says rape likely committed in Hamas attack on Israel. The details after the break.
News at 7 is brought to you by Fosrich, your electrical, lighting, solar, and LED people.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
With the details, I'm Ricardo Brooks. There are mixed views from security stakeholders about whether the Police Services Commission should look outside the JCF when choosing the new police commissioner. The commission has started interviewing persons to succeed Major General Anthony Anderson, whose tenure at the helm of the police force is set to expire at the end of the month. But some stakeholders say the search for his replacement should extend beyond the force. Shalois Michael reports.
Major General Anthony Anderson took the job as police commissioner on a 3-year contract on March 18, 2018. His contract was renewed for another 3 years in 2021. Reports are that he has not indicated whether he would return as the head of the JCF or if he'll be renewing his contract, which expires at the end of March. The Police Service Commission started interviewing candidates on Monday. The 4 deputy commissioners have been invited to interview for the job. The search is also open to persons outside the JCF. The University of the West Indies' leading expert on national security and economic development, Professor Anthony Clayton, says outside applicants should be considered to ensure the best person for the job is selected.
I am all in favour of inviting applications from abroad for a number of reasons. One of them is that you never know if you've got the best candidates if you don't look at the widest pool. The JCF have always preferred internal candidates. I myself think that there's a danger in that. The strength is that you get somebody who knows the situation that they're going to have to police, but the risk is that over time, you develop a more introverted culture and that is really good. So even if you don't appoint somebody from outside, it's always a good idea to throw the door open and invite applications from outside.
But a criminologist and a security expert, Dr. Jason Mackay, says the next leader of the JCF should come from the 4 current Deputy Commissioners of Police, DCPs, who've all been invited to interviews for the post.
I think it's important that you look on the work that has been done over the last 6 years, and if you think it's positive, and I do, that you'd like to keep it going. And I think the 4 deputies were the ones who would have run the main departments of the force over the last 6 years. And I think it's a credible performance during the tenure of Major Anderson. So I believe we should select from the actual core of deputies that are there. I think the most important thing is to select someone who can motivate the 14,000 strong workforce. And if it's motivated, you're likely to get a better performance. That now will more than likely happen if you select someone from within the force.
The 4 current DCPs are Head of the Crime and Security Portfolio, Fitz Bailey, Head of the Strategic Operations, Clifford Blake, Head of Administration and Support Services, Richard Stewart, and Head of Force Development and Logistics, Dr. Kevin Blake. Professor Clayton says the 4 are strong candidates to consider as a police commissioner.
For the first time in a long time, we've actually got a very strong pool of candidates, at least the ones that we know about. But the challenge here is this. You don't necessarily appoint somebody to be a commissioner on the basis of a very strong track record to date. You have to think about what challenges the force will be facing over the next few years, what the critical tasks are. And then from there, you work out what is the skill set that we most need at this point, and then you match that against the best candidates who put themselves forward.
Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, former Police Commissioner Rear Admiral Hardley Lewin says anyone vying to replace Major General Anthony Anderson should be subjected to extensive vetting. He was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday.
In seeking to appoint a new commissioner of police, I think the first order of business is that we need to know who we are considering, and I have a 3-stage approach. The first step, the applicants must submit to what I call a smell test, and the smell test would be polygraph and an inquiry into areas of professional history. We do not want a commissioner coming to the job who have skeletons. It compromises his or her ability to lead effectively. And secondly, under the smell test is the examination of finances and other assets, and you seek explanation for anything that might be outliers.
Rear Admiral Lewin says the vetting process for the next police commissioner must also include looking at the leadership and professional abilities of the candidate.
What kind of commissioner does the force need at this time in terms of what leadership style is best suited for the force today? And matching that, one would have to ask, how do the applicants match up to those traits, those styles that you're looking for in the commissioner of police? You have to inquire into areas of their professional history. You do not want a commissioner who comes there with skeletons who can be compromised because of some issue of probity or some in his past, yeah? Coupled with that, I know they're required to make annual returns and so on, but maybe you have to go further. Let's look at the finances, assets, and so on. Now, I had to do these too. I had to undergo them to become commissioner, so it's nothing new.
Rear Admiral Hardley Lewin, former police commissioner. UA Professor Anthony Clayton says Haiti is a failed state which poses a major threat to several other Caribbean countries. Professor Clayton made the statement Monday evening on Nationwide at 5.
Haiti is a failed state. Let's be honest about this. It meets all the criteria for a failed state. The police and the security services are outnumbered and outgunned. The government has no elected members left. It is not seen as having democratic legitimacy. And the country is falling apart. The infrastructure is being destroyed in the gang warfare. Most of the Haitians are going north rather than into Jamaica. Population of Turks and Caicos has gone up by 25% in under 10 years, and all of those are Haitian illegal immigrants. In the few years' time, Turks and Caicos is going to become a majority Haitian country. It's not quite at that stage yet in the Bahamas, but it's becoming so. Now, these countries are under existential threat, and they are going to have to build the capacity some way or other to deal with this.
Haiti is entering its second day of a 72-hour state of emergency. The Haitian government declared the SOE after armed gangs stormed two major prisons over the weekend. At least 12 people were killed and about 3,700 inmates escaped in the jailbreak. There are fears that some of those criminals could make their way to Jamaica. Kenya plans to lead a UN-sanctioned 1,000-strong multinational security force to Haiti to help bring stability back to the country. But Professor Clayton says more than 30,000 troops are actually needed on the ground in the country.
But as those corridors close, the Haitians will look for other ways out. And at that point, I would expect the problem to start to spill over into other adjacent states, including this one. This is something that we have to get ready for now. This is unfortunately an inevitable consequence. We've done the math on this. You would need a military intervention of at least 30,000 troops to stabilize the situation. So the 1,000 police officers who have been promised from Kenya are not going to do anything to avert this coming fate.
Professor Anthony Clayton, University of the West Indies' leading expert on national security and economic development. And criminologist Dr. Jason Mackay says while he's not overly concerned about the jailbreak in Haiti, it does represent a threat to Jamaica. Dr. Mackay says the jailbreak could worsen the already serious guns for drugs trade between Jamaica and Haiti.
It does represent some degree of a threat. I mean, we're talking about 4,000 persons who perhaps want to leave the states where they are to avoid being recaptured, and there is history of Haitian criminals actually reaching Jamaica shores before. So among the many threats we face, this is an additional one that we have to look on. The Haitian gun for drugs trade has been a major problem in the national security of the country, and this now just makes it worse.
Dr. Jason Mackay. Meanwhile, former Police Commissioner Rear Admiral Hardley Lewin is expressing confidence that Jamaica's national security forces can respond to any potential threat posed by the Haitian jailbreak.
We have to consider them, and they're well-founded. We're very close to Haiti. They have the means of getting here and so on. But, I have every confidence that our security apparatus and persons are looking at this issue and will be putting measures in place just to mitigate any problems arising from the situation in Haiti. So I'm quite sure they're doing it.
Rear Admiral Hardley Lewin, former Police Commissioner. The men were speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. The Jamaica Environment Trust JET is calling for the suspension of permits issued to bauxite alumina company Windalco. The call comes after toxic effluent again polluted the Rio Cobre on the weekend. The National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA says the pollution resulted in a minor fish kill. NEPA has reportedly instructed Windalco to neutralize the contaminated water to prevent further damage. But CEO of JET, Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody, says previous attempts by NEPA and Windalco to prevent further pollution of the Rio Cobre have failed. She says Windalco shouldn't be allowed to operate until effective measures are in place to prevent more pollution incidents.
We need to understand what happened. Why did it happen? Because we were assured from when they were implementing their previous or their second effluent holding pond, which I think was completed in August 2023, we were assured that an incident like this would never happen again. But clearly something went wrong, and clearly one of the measures that were put in place were not adequate. And so we need to see that Windalco needs to ensure that comprehensive measures the public needs to ensure that comprehensive measures are being put in place to prevent future pollution incidents, and I don't believe that Windalco should be allowed to operate while it's taking place. We need to be assured that it won't happen again, because if heavier rain were to fall, would we see this again?
Dr. Rodriguez Moody says NEPA must engage independent experts to assess the effectiveness of measures implemented by Windalco. She adds that the current penalties for those guilty of environmental pollution are insufficient. Dr. Rodriguez Moody is calling on the government to keep its promise of increasing the fines.
Polluters need to be fined appropriately, and we have had very low fines for many years. They have been acknowledged that they're low, and we need to increase them. Promises have been made, but they still have not been increased. So we need to see an urgent increase in fines and penalties, and that is in relation to the NRCA Act and the Wildlife Protection Act, because right now they're insufficient to deter any environmental violations.
Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody, the CEO of the Jamaica Environment Trust. Meanwhile, Dr. Rodriguez Moody notes that monitoring of the Rio Cobre must be enhanced to prevent further pollution.
We are also calling for greater monitoring of the rear cover, and this is very extremely important. Greater monitoring, which includes the frequency as well. So we are also calling for an establishment of, say, an automated waterway monitoring system, which would allow for even more timely pollution of detection events. Because what happened was that it was the community that had to report it and get in touch with NEPO. And we need to be more proactive. We need to see more proactive action because it took place. The event started from the Friday afternoon.
Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody, the CEO of JET. The recent killing of a man in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland was a reprisal attack for a shooting in Frome 3 days earlier in which 3 persons were killed. That's according to Commanding Officer for the Area 1 Police ACP Clifford Chambers. The deceased is identified as 24-year-old Jeremy Maxwell, otherwise known as Biggs. He was killed and another injured in front of a funeral home on Darling Street, Savannah Lamar on Saturday. Maxwell is said to be a member of the campaign team of Councillor-elect for the Savannah Lamar Division, Julian Chang. Reports are that Maxwell and another person were on a motorcycle in the community when he was shot and killed and his pillion injured. ACP Chambers told our news centre that the Darling Street and Frome communities are currently facing a gang conflict. However, he says the murder was not politically motivated. 7 persons were shot, 3 fatally in Frome last week, Wednesday. The deceased men are identified as Kemar Smith, Everall Rowe, and Andre MacDonald. It's reported that the 7 individuals were patrons at a bar when a car drove up. 2 men reportedly exited the vehicle and opened fire at the patrons before escaping. In international news now, a UN team has concluded there are reasonable grounds to believe sexual violence, including rape and gang rape, was committed during the Hamas attacks on Israel on October 7. They also said there was convincing information that hostages had been subjected to sexual violence. The trip was led by the UN Special Representative on Sexual Violence in Conflict, Pramila Patten. Hamas has denied its gunmen sexually assaulted women during the attacks. The UN report said the mission team found that there are reasonable grounds to believe that conflict-related sexual violence occurred in multiple locations during the October 7 attacks. These happened in at least 3 locations, the Nova Music Festival site and its surroundings. Hamas gunmen infiltrated southern Israel on October 7, killing about 1,200 people and taking 253 others hostage. Israel responded by launching a military campaign in Gaza, during which 30,500 people have been killed, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. That's the news at 7 this morning. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
News at 7 was brought to you by Fosrich, your electrical, lighting, solar, and LED people.
Taxpayers, pay your taxes online at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm. Call 888-TAX-HELP for more details. The Temperature, brought to you by Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you better, is
25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 out west in Montego Bay.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence, and the Road Safety Unit in the Island Traffic Authority.
Time now for a second traffic update of the morning. Ludlow McLean is the man with Street Smarts. Good morning again, Ludlow.
Morning again, Ricardo and listeners, motoring public and our visitors. Welcome to Jamaica. And we love. Those of you in St. Catharines, very big community, so you know that Portmore, Brayton, that way, the I-95, we call it Municipal Boulevard, proper name. You're on the El Shamaine Road, you're heading towards Naved, on the Brayton Parkway. You are on George C. Boulevard, and you're also on the Port Henderson Road, taking us to the toll. All these areas are quite busy, quite active. And if you're taking it exited from Municipal Boulevard onto the Mandela, you're also going to experience traffic is coming from the Dyke Road and Grange Lane and all these areas, trying to make it all come to the Mandela. But if you're going westbound, it's much easier. And if you're going to take the toll, all these areas are not too bad. But coming eastbound, that's where you have the bulk of the traffic. But it's moving steady. headway towards 6 miles here. Remember, 6 miles to 3 miles, always congested at this time. Likewise, if you're on the boulevard, it's going to be congested, and mainly at that Washington Boulevard intersection, quite busy, quite active. Those of you already on Mullins Road, you'll also experience traffic heading towards Arthur Street Square. You are able to take it onto Tarrant Drive, then onto Woodland, then make it back onto Hadley Park Road, and it is also steady until you get up to the intersection of Hadley Park Road and East Park Road. That's where that area you're going to have the traffic, and that traffic is going to take you across to South Woodland Avenue, quite active also. So a very big in Arthur Street, along Arthur Street Road, going down to Upton Road, all of these areas are busy. And if you're already on Radius Road, remember it's bumper-to-bumper traffic going down. Same thing with Constant Springs, Mannington Road, and the Shortwood Road, and also inevitably Barbican Road. Those of you in Arcadia Drive, I'm so sorry for you. Likewise, also like these areas have a lot of traffic trying to make it onto Barbican Road, especially going eastbound. So there we go, our second and fourth sunny, bright and sunny condition. And as usual, we want to say, at Street Park, your safety is always concerned. Carlos, take it away.
Thanks, Ludlow. Ludlow McLean there with Street Smarts. Up next, the front page.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence, and the Road Safety Unit in the Island Traffic Authority.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're now tuned in to the front page. We'll be focusing this morning on the fish kill that took place in the Rio Cobre over the weekend. The Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, is calling for the suspension of permits issued to Bauxite Alumina Company, Windalco. The call comes after toxic effluent again polluted the Rio Cobre on the weekend. The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, says the pollution resulted in a minor fish kill. NEPA has reportedly instructed Windalco to neutralize the contaminated water to prevent further damage. CEO of JET, Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody, says previous attempts by NEPA and Windalco to prevent further pollution of the Rio Cobre have failed. She says Windalco shouldn't be allowed to operate until effective measures are in place to prevent more pollution incidents.
We need to understand what happened. Why did it happen? Because we were assured from when they were implementing their previous or their second effluent holding pond, which I think was completed in August 2023, we were assured that an incident like this would never happen again. So clearly something went wrong, and clearly one of the measures that were put in place were not adequate. And so we need to see that Windalco needs to ensure that comprehensive measures the public needs to ensure that comprehensive measures are being put in place to prevent future pollution incidents. And I don't believe that Windalco should be allowed to operate while it's taking place. We need to be assured that it won't happen again, because if heavier rain were to fall, would we see this again?
Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody, she says NEPA must engage in independent experts to assess the effectiveness of measures implemented by Windalco. She adds that the current penalties for those guilty of environmental pollution are insufficient. And Dr. Rodriguez Moody is calling on the government to keep its promise of increasing the fines. For perspective on the latest fish kill in the Rio Cobre, we're being joined by environmentalist and founder of the Caribbean Coastal Area Management Foundation, CCAM, Peter Espute. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning, Ricardo. Morning, Tana. I'm retired executive director of CCAM.
Thank you so much for that correction. So, Mr. Espute, what do you make of the most recent fish kill on the weekend? Is NEPA doing enough in relation to Windalco?
You know, we have to remember why we have these environmental regulations in the first place. They accuse us environmentalists of being against economic growth. Nothing could be further from the truth. We want economic growth for Jamaica, and we want economic growth for our grandchildren, for the Jamaica of our grandchildren. It has to do with the future. Now, governments are in a quandary because they need economic growth now to attract voters. And support. But economic growth now at the expense of the environment is a false economic growth. Because what that does is it forecloses on economic growth for the Jamaica of my grandchildren. So that's why we environmentalists, and supposedly the government, has a long-term view. Now, clearly, you know, we're coming out of an election where a lot of campaign contributions were solicited from companies. If you harass a company and say to them, when I say harass, you must comply with the environmental regulations. They may say, well, okay, I'm not going to give you any money for your election. So this is the quandary that governments find themselves in. Do we enforce environmental regulations against companies that in fact may be giving us campaign contributions? And ultimately, what we find when we look over the history is that governments tend to be lax when it comes to enforcing environmental regulations on companies that give money to them. And is the government doing enough? I don't think so. The issue here is the pollution of the Rio Cobre. Now, the company promises we won't do it again. We've put in a third overflow pond. A little rain comes, it overflows again. So what do you do? Because you told them the last time that it mustn't happen again, and they promise it's not going to happen again. And then it happens again. So what do you do? Now, if you don't do anything, the company will say, well, I can get away with it. These people are not serious about their environmental regulations. What they really want is economic growth that comes from bauxite, alumina operations. And so I know that I can get away with it. And so I won't take them seriously. So the government is faced with a dilemma. And we environmentalists would believe that the government has to show that it is serious. And the company has been given several chances, and they have not kept their promises. So maybe, yes, this is the time to withdraw the permit and say, look, and we as Jet says, we have to study what went wrong and get a consultant to advise whether the methods that the company says they are taking to prevent the future spills are effective or not.
Peter,
but if you don't do it, then you're basically giving them a get out of jail free card. Yes, Ricardo.
You raise an interesting point regarding the model of development. Yeah, the immediate need, as you see it, for economic development versus a long-term, I understand you to be saying, sustainable approach.
Right.
But
I'm glad you used the word, Ricardo, sustainable.
Right.
That's the correct word in this context.
Right. But you also correctly identify, I think, the fact that governments are under pressure to, bring economic growth, bring jobs for people. How does a government effectively balance those competing interests, the long-term versus the short-term demand that they face from people?
No, I'm an environmentalist, not a political scientist.
Fair.
Your question is how does the government balance these two things? That's really out of my realm of expertise. But look, it's the same issue with whether when we're planning for the economy, whether we go for the macroeconomic indicators like inflation and unemployment, or whether we go for reduction in poverty. You know, this is the old tension between the GDP as a measure of economic growth or your poverty index. Because here we have in the previous election where the government boasts of getting the macroeconomy right, but yet everybody is saying, well, we're not feeling it. So they lose a lot of divisions in the election, and may in fact lose next general election if the projections are accurate. So this tension between two competing goals is not only in the environment. Do we get the macroeconomy right and poverty reduction right, or do we go for the poverty reduction and maybe let go the macroeconomic indicators? It's the same with the environment. Do we protect the environment now because of the future, or do we get the economic growth now even though it's going to damage the environment? That is in fact the dilemma of how to do it, Ricardo. I'm sorry, I can't help you with that.
All right. But do you get the sense, though, that Jamaicans broadly accept the importance of environmental protection?
That question is an interesting one. If I say yes, then well, the data doesn't support a yes. The data suggests that Jamaicans right now are very concerned about bread and butter and whether they can put the food on the table today. And people do prefer to chop down a tree rather than keep it, you know. If it, because the chopping down the tree might give me my food now,
right,
but it will, you know, we are a limited horizon people.
Could that then feed into how the government thinks about these things?
Yeah, the governments are concerned about the environment if the people pressure them, and so people like myself and Jet have to keep pressuring. Just like with corruption, Ricardo. If the government believed that Jamaicans were against corruption, they would put in place things to deal with corruption. The governments believe that people don't care about corruption. In fact, they would love to get some. And therefore, they are corrupt. So I quite agree with you. Public pressure is, in the end, going to be the solution to both the environment issue and the corruption issue. And that puts the ball in my court and yours to educate the population about the need for environmental conservation as well as the need to get rid of corruption.
Mr. Espute, please hold the line. When we come back from the break, want to go back to something you mentioned at the top of your responses about campaign financing and the possible influence that might have on how NEPA acts in its response to enforcement.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is...
It's 29 minutes to 8.
Jumpstart your fitness goals with Express Fitness. Sign up today and restart your fitness journey at an Express Fitness location near you. Enjoy safe, comfortable, and well-equipped gyms from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Call 554-5180 for a full listing of our open locations. Express Fitness. Express Fitness. Your goal, our mission.
Touching lives every day, so many different ways, a part of all you do. Sagicor will make you feel secure, reaching out for more, will always see you through. Reach for more, whatever you're dreaming, whatever your goals, will help you achieve them. You're never alone, taking care of today's needs, take care of tomorrow's dreams, every day helping you succeed. That's what Sagicor means. Today's needs, tomorrow's dreams. Sagicor.
Owner of herbs and spices company Paradise Blends, Romeo Mitchell, started his business in 2018 with one employee. After being introduced to the Social Development Commission's Local Economic Development Support Program, he received support in financial literacy, bookkeeping, project proposal writing, business plan development, and business registration.
I got 2 grants from SDC, and first grant I would have used it to purchase raw materials and to make my retractable banner that I use to advertise my business. And the second one, I will be using it to design and print my labels.
Mr. Mitchell now has 4 employees and is steadily expanding his business.
Through the SDC, I have seen growth, and I will continue to grow with the help of the SDC.
The Social Development Commission, an agency of the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, promoting the advancement of sport, social, cultural, and economic development.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're still tuned into our discussion segment, The Front Page. We're having a conversation about the recent fish kill in the Rio Cobre and the response from NEPA. We're speaking with environmentalist Peter Espeut. Welcome back to the program, Mr. Espeut.
Thanks, Paula.
At your introduction, you mentioned something interesting about campaign financing or funding from entities and how that might affect the response that state agencies give to issues, NEPA included. Is that the case, though, why there would be a sort of a downfall in how they're responding and their enforcement?
I can't say that. I haven't seen their books. I don't know how much and to who they give their campaign contribution. But I'm just saying that this is an issue that has to be taken into account. And we believe, we environmentalists believe, that this does play a factor in a part in many environmental issues. Pollution, for example, of the Black River by a big company that operates in the area, pollution of the Rio Minho by another company that operates in that area, pollution of Kingston Harbor by many different companies. All of these companies are important for political donations, and we believe that the various governments, not just this one, previous ones too, are soft on companies that break environmental laws, and this is part of the quid pro quo, that we'll give you donations but don't harass us to obey the environmental laws. And of course, they could prove us wrong by declaring how much money they get from whichever companies, but they won't do that. That's a top secret business, who gets what from who. And of course, the contracts that are given are also top secret. So the government protect themselves from accusations of this kind of corruption. So we believe that it does play a part, yes.
Environmentalists have constantly said that the fines and the deterrent framework is just not sufficient to stop the kind of pollution that we've been seeing. What exactly does strong sanction look like, such that you think it could prevent this kind of pollution?
I can't give you a dollar value, but the fine must be high enough that it affects their bottom line. That if they have to pay big money, they will think twice before polluting. In other words, they whatever the government gained, the company gained by polluting, must certainly be offset by the fine. I don't know what that is because I haven't done the economic study of the company. But bear in mind also, that the standards also have to be negotiated, because the companies will argue that everybody pollutes to some extent.
Right.
Even if they operate a boiler or some sort of generator, they do put carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. They do have some effluent waste of some sort. So it's really a question of the extent to which you're going to allow them to pollute. And our effluent discharge standards are really, we believe, also quite low. We need to raise the bar a little bit on the companies. But also we need, JET, I understand, has called for a withdrawal of the permit.
Yes.
That means that the company must stop operating. They must shut down until.
But what
they
happens
get
to the
the
people who
environmental
are?
action.
What happens to the
that's a
people who are
serious step.
employed? Right. Because, and I also
Very
want.
serious step. I'm not saying I support that.
Uh-huh.
But you see, if you don't have that as a final option, the company will always say, well, I can always do it, and I will get away. So this is the dilemma the government faces.
And do you worry that if the fines become so stringent, then it could itself prove to be a deterrent against investment, against businesses operating in the space?
But everybody knows, Ricardo, that investment goes where the leniency is. So one thing that the government advertises is, come to our country and invest. We have weak environmental laws and we don't enforce them anyway.
But Peter Esprit, aren't you sort of simplifying it though? Isn't it a little bit more complicated?
To exploit our labor.
Isn't it a little bit more nuanced than that though?
Well, you might think so, but ultimately that's what it boils down to. When Jampro advertises Jamaica for investment, that's part of what investors ask. How strict is your government with environmental laws? And what does Jampro answer? I don't know what they do behind closed doors, but we certainly believe that that's part of the package that is offered to foreign investors. If you come, you will find lax environmental laws and lax labor laws. That's what we advertise. But because if you don't come to Jamaica, you'll go to another country that has even laxer environmental laws and even more lax labor laws.
And so my question is, if we make those laws stringent enough that it serves as a deterrent against investment, aren't we shafting people who rely on these industries for their livelihood?
Well, there you are. And we return to the original dilemma. Do we want sustainable development or not? Are we going to go for present returns, present economic growth, and future degradation, which means future economic degradation, where less growth in the future? Is it growth now and not in the future, or do we want sustainable growth over a long period? And that's a choice, Ricardo.
So our environmentalists
want sustainable development.
And does that then
governments
mean
want it now and don't care about the future?
So does that mean that the environmentalists are prepared for some people to potentially lose their jobs in the short term, as long as the sustainable development is achieved over the long term?
If that's what it means, because if in fact sustainable development means that we are talking about the jobs for our grandchildren and not just about the jobs for the people in the present, what the government is prepared to do is to give the people jobs today, but take away jobs from our grandchildren. So it is exactly that tension, and you put your finger right on it, Ricardo. This is the issue. Jobs today or jobs tomorrow. Take your choice. Politicians want the jobs today because they want the votes today.
But is it just the politicians though? Isn't that the clamor of the people? So when you put it on the politicians solely, isn't that what the people are clamoring for? And how does the government go against that clamor? Is what I'm trying to. Yeah.
I hear you, but who is going to take the long view? I mean, if the people are not taking the long view because they have hungry belly, we can excuse them because they're hungry and they want it now. But who is going to have the vision? Give us vision, lest we perish. Our national anthem has. Who is to have the vision? So if the people don't have the vision, we're going to perish. Because the people will say to the government, we want the jobs now, mash up the environment, dig down the hill, chop down the trees, pollute the harbor, pollute the rivers, because we want the jobs now. Who is going to have the vision to say, no, No. We have to ban our belly, and we have to maybe do it a little less now, so that down the line Jamaica can be better. That's ultimately the choice, Ricardo, Turner, listeners.
A final one, Mr. Esbute. Going forward now, Jet is suggesting the use of more technology in how NEPA carries out its enforcement or monitors our waterways. What do you suggest on your end?
I'm a chemist. My first degree is chemistry, so I understand about water quality monitoring. I've done quite a bit of it in my day. And technology nowadays is amazing. You have these analyzers that you just put a sample of water in there and boom, you get all the answers. I'm sure NEPA has that technology. It's not so much the lack of technology, it's the sampling regime. How often do they sample? Do they sample monthly, every 6 months? What is it? I don't know. I mean, they operate a sophisticated laboratory, which we are very happy about. But the question is, how regularly do they collect samples and how regularly do they test? And what do they test for? You can test for the easy things like pH and that sort of thing pretty quickly. I mean, we used to take our pH meter out into the field, and we would be able to test instantly and salinity and all the rest of it, chloride and so on. We can do that instantly. But how often do you do it? We would do it when at CCAM, when there was a suspicion of something. And we would go and we would do a full regime of tests, but we couldn't do that every day. I mean, we don't have the staff, we don't have the money to do that. But what does NRCA do? What does NEPA do as a regular monitoring regime? That's the question I want to ask. Yes, technology is important. I believe they have it. But the question is, how regularly do they test? And when they find an anomaly, what is the procedure for dealing with it? That's which is enforcement.
Peter Esbute, environmentalist, speaking to us this morning about the recent fish kill in the Rio Coburn, where NEPA needs to going forward in terms of its enforcement against agencies like Windalco. Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it.
Nice talking to you both.
All right, have a good one.
Listen up, motorists. Speeding burns more gas. So slow down. The life you save may be your own and also that of your loved ones. Slow down. Save lives and money. The time by the Insurance Association of Jamaica is...
It's 14 minutes to 8.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is...
Still 25 degrees Celsius here in Kingston. It's gotten cooler in Montego Bay at 23 degrees.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Jumpstart your fitness goals with Express Fitness. Sign up today and restart your fitness journey at an Express Fitness location near you. Enjoy safe, comfortable, and well-equipped gyms from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Call 554-5180 for a full listing of our open locations. Express Fitness. Express Fitness. Your goal, our mission.
Touching lives every day, So many different ways, a part of all you do. Sagicor will make you feel secure. Reaching out for more, will always see you through. Reach for more, whatever you're dreaming, whatever your goals, will help you achieve them. You're never alone. Taking care of today's needs, take care of tomorrow's dreams. Every day helping you succeed, that's what Sagicor means. Today's needs, tomorrow's dreams. Sagicor.
More savings, more choices. Get active with Active Home Center. The one-stop shop for everything for your home. We have more savings, more choices, unbelievable prices. Wide selection with the latest styles. The kitchen, bathroom, right down to the tile. Buy the hottest items on spot, don't miss out. Best options under one roof, no doubt. More savings, more choices.
Visit us in store or online at www.activehomecenter.com.
We have more savings, more choices.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide this morning. You're still on the front page. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Tona Thomas.
And we're due to be joined by the new mayor of Port Maria. Just trying to make contact with him. But several other, or at least one other, swearing in of a mayor is being delayed because of planned magisterial recounts. So this is the election that just won't go away. It just won't conclude. I don't know. I understand that there's supposed to be recounts in St. Catherine, which has delayed the swearing in of Norman Scott for another tenure as the mayor of Spanish Town.
Yeah. A recount will also be taking place in Cornwall Mountain, that division in Westmoreland. Yeah. So a number of recounts taking place, and we shall look to see how those will fare. Is there any recount taking place in Juliet Holness's constituency? I'm trying to...
I think I heard the PMP says it intends to challenge Dallas.
Oh, it's
not
Dallas.
Not Dallas. Mavis Bank, I beg your pardon. Mavis Bank. And I think the JLP intends to challenge Kintyre. Yes. Because Kintyre went to the People's National Party.
Right.
And the JLP held on to Mavis Bank very narrowly. So, yeah, I think both parties are... My constituency has become a little bit of a little battleground.
Yeah.
Traditionally it's been, a pretty close constituency until Mrs. Holness became the Member of Parliament. But certainly now, after these elections, a lot rests in East Rural St. Andrew because the KSAMC would have fallen to the People's National Party because of Kintyre, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So, yeah, it has become a focal point. Because I don't think any other constituency in Kingston and St. Andrew lost. I'm trying to go through them in my mind. No, I think it is only Kintyre that flipped, which caused the KSAMC to go to the People's National Party. Well, we created the tie, which then will be resolved by the popular vote. So, yeah, a central point.
Yeah. I see a lot of you reacting, saying, it was a chaotic election.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But the recounts shall happen. Rather, the magisterial recounts shall happen. We shall hear who the winners are eventually, and eventually as well, we shall move on from this. But yeah, things have been written now in the history books on this one. When years from now we go back in time to 2024 February, we shall speak about this.
We have now Fitzroy Wilson, who is the councillor. Have you been sworn in? Councillor elect for the Boscobel division, and the man tipped to become the new mayor of Port Maria. Good morning, Mr. Wilson.
Morning, sir.
How are you?
I am blessed, man.
Congratulations.
And I'm grateful to you.
And so now what can the people of St. Mary expect from a municipal corporation led by you?
Transparency and true representation. For some time, I think that the elected councillors and other elected representatives might have thought that they are the boss for the people. And what I hope that I will be able to bring to the fore is that to recognize the people for who they really are, and that is our boss. Because the people of Boscobel Division has resoundingly sent a message last Monday to say that they were dissatisfied with the level of service that they received, and also the entire parish of St. Mary, hence the change of stewardship going forward. So it is with a great sense of humility, pride, and it's not an easy task, I know, but we are up to the task, and we hope that as a team we can accomplish greatness for St. Mary.
And what is on your agenda? What's on the top of your agenda for the capital now that you're mayor?
For long we have been struggling with the flooded situation in Port Maria whenever there is downpour, and I would like to see a cleaner parish. You know, I always look on the model that we had in Mandeville some years ago, and I would say that we would want to emulate that, a proper management structure for the parish capital and the St. Mary in general, and priority would be on the parish capital to be give it in a facelift, eradicate the flooding from the area. We know that it's not an easy task, but it is something that I'm going to go after, because the business community, every time there's a flooding, then they have to start all over again. And that affects commerce, it affects the livelihood of the people in the parish.
What's the roadmap to achieving those things? So, reducing or eradicating flooding, you mentioned garbage collection. What's the roadmap to achieving those things?
Well, as I specifically said, where the flooding was concerned, and back then I was councillor between 2012 and 2016, and there was some study underway to see how or by what means the flooding, because the reality is Port Maria town is basically below sea level. So when there's when the rain is in and the river is in spate, then the waves from the beach also rises, and it prevents the river, the flow of the water from the river, which empties into the sea. Hence a back up river stream. And there was a study on the way. I would want to go back to that and see how best we can get the agencies so responsible to act, because at the end of the day, I'll be the mayor for Port Maria, and I would want to leave a legacy in Port Maria of good stewardship and representation for the people.
And as the mayor now, Mr. Wilson, to your
Sorry,
mind...
could I just ask the mayor-elect? So, So essentially, the plans are you're going to hope that central government agencies can give you the assistance that you're going to advocate for.
We have NGOs that we could access. There's a VAT. As I said to you, there's a lot. It has come in my lap now where the rest of the councillors, the PNP caucus of councillors, have given me the mandate. It is not really something that I had gone out for in its entirety. But since everybody has vested interest in my stewardship, I will accept and lead. And as I said, the agencies so inclined, the NGOs, the donor agencies, if central government won't come up with that money, the money will come from somewhere. And sometimes we just have to be ambitious. A few months ago, nobody would have thought that Troy Wilson would have been councillor, much less mayor. So, as my grandfather always said, man stay ground and send people a moon, and they have never been there. So, the task is great, but we will accomplish the task.
And how will you better Richard Creary's performance?
I wouldn't want to reject Councillor Creary's performance. It is something to build on. There was some good in the municipality over the period of time, and I would not want to come out and throw out the baby with the bathwater. I would want to look at the good that was going on for St. Mary and Port Maria, and I would want to build on it. And I would want to incorporate Councillor Creary's ideas and the former administration, and to build on it. Too often we see where one administration goes in and then you make a 360 degrees turn where nothing is built on. I had some projects for the Boscobel division when I was there, and they were just left up and nothing built on them. Intervention with the youth, sporting and other things, and I'm saying that I wouldn't want to make the same mistake with Councillor Creary. Councillor Creary might have blundered in some areas. We sometimes, as I said earlier, we think that we are the boss of the people, but in fact the boss employs us, which is the people of St. Mary. And I would want to serve them, and I would want to do it with the blessings of Councillor Creary, because we both will be sitting in the same house. And I hope that we can put parties and politics aside and work in the interest of the betterment of the people of St. Mary.
And what will you be putting forward in terms of the improvement of local governance? You're a mayor now.
As I said, transparency is first and foremost. Consultation. I intend to consult with the people, with my colleagues, and arrive. Sometimes what we think is best for the people is not what the people actually need. So
Fitzroy Wilson, did you want this job?
Yes, man.
Yeah?
This was my ambition for some years ago, thanks to my grandfather, as Bosse Wilson, he died. But he was the person who introduced me to former Minister Comrade Seymour Mullins some years ago. And from there it came. But this has always been my ambition.
Okay. You were telling Tono what you will do in terms of transparency and consultation.
Yeah, man. I said this is something that I've built in the Boscobel division with the people, where I consult with them. I listen to the people, and I act based on the goodness of those consultations. And this is something that I would envision us doing in the parish, consulting with especially business people, the farmers, and everything, so that we can have the parish grow. As a local authority, we know the needs. We are in dire need of cemetery space in St. Mary. We are in dire need of street lighting. The market district is a mess. The transportation centers are something not even to talk about. I know that these are the things that in the local authority that we are going to build on. We must say that for the Port Maria, we have a very new market. We have a fire station, and we're hoping to build on the infrastructure of the parish.
Appreciate your time this morning. Congratulations and all the best.
Thank you, sir, and have a blessed day.
You too.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales. For a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 3 minutes after 8.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
With Across Jamaica this morning, I am Ricardo Brooks. Now, the recent killing of a man in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland was a reprisal attack for a shooting in Frome 3 days earlier, in which 3 persons were killed. That's according to Commanding Officer for the Area 1 Police, ACP Clifford Chambers. The deceased is identified as 24-year-old Jeremy Maxwell, otherwise known as Biggs. He was killed and another injured in front of a funeral home on Darling Street, Savannah Lamar on Saturday. Maxwell is said to be a member of the campaign team for the councillor-elect for the Savannah Lamar Division, Julian Chang. Reports are that Maxwell and another person were on a motorcycle in his community when he was shot and killed and his pillion injured. Operations Officer for the St. Catherine North Police, Deputy Superintendent Commando Toms, is assuring residents that the police are committed to tackling the serious problems of burglary. DSP Toms was speaking with the Constabulary's Communication Unit, CCU, following the arrest of an alleged burglar and seizure of a firearm in Spanish Town over the weekend.
Sometime after 2 a.m. this morning, a police party responded to calls of men seen attempting to break into a business premises along the St. John's Road. The team went to investigate, and upon their arrival at that location, they were immediately fired upon by the said culprits. The police party, in self-defense, returned the fire at these men, who ran from the premises. The police gave chase, and during that instance, one man was found suffering from gunshot wound to his leg. Further searches within that said space, a firearm was retrieved. This man was immediately taken to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he is currently undergoing treatment under police guard.
The DSP is also calling for the community to remain vigilant and secure their properties. DSP Toms is insisting the police will continue to search for the men who escaped.
The police will, however, remain relentless in finding out who the other culprits are. We will leave no stone unturned until we have completed this investigation. We also want for the citizens within the space to understand that we want for them to feel free in their mind that we will be up protecting businesses, protecting their houses as they go to sleep within the nights. We are here for the long haul. We are determined, we are focused to ensure that the citizens remain safe within this division. We want for persons to lock up their premises, their businesses, and to return in the morning and to see same in the order in which they left it.
Deputy Superintendent Commander Toms, the Operations Officer for the St. Catherine North Police Division, wrapping up across Jamaica.
Energize your life the right way with DBJ, yeah, you must can save enough energy solution. Choose one today for your house or your business. Money I go save. Yeah, DBJ. Energize your life the right way. The Development Bank of Jamaica Limited is here to help you with the purchase and installation of renewable energy systems to help you save on your energy bill. Contact your business banker or bank today. Energize your business or home the right way with DBJ Energy Loan.
Did you know that many of my schoolmates have an unhealthy diet, especially at school? And now 23% of them are overweight and or obese? And so one less sugary drink at my school may mean one friend less,
or 2 or 3,
at risk of cavities or diabetes. And if we're served less foods high in saturated fats, sugar and sodium, it may reduce our risk from obesity, heart disease and high blood pressure. The solution is simple, right? Act now. Let's get unhealthy foods and beverages out of our schools.
A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
There's something I'm compelled to say, and I need to say it to the world today.
We've come together in unity
As an example for all to see.
All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Na 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 na. All right. Yeah, yeah. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. All right. Yeah, yeah.
The time is here, the time is now. We've got to get together somehow and listen to our minds and our conscience and rid ourselves of all this violence.
Throw down your guns and all ammunitions. We wanna have a peaceful solution. All right. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, we say heads of government have got together. Why can't we live like sisters and brothers? Shun the temptation of killing each other. Let's just live like birds of a feather.
We wanna join all of the nations, restore again this peaceful creation. All right.
Say,
Yeah, yeah.
all we are saying
Love your brother
is give peace a chance. Right.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. NTM and Jermaine is playing that song for you because today is Peace Day. It's Peace Day. I remember wearing color blue on Peace Day. Used to wear blue on Peace Day too, Michelle. Yeah, YouTubers. Well, did you guys used to wear blue? I remember my school uniform, my shirt was pink in primary school. Yeah, it was pink. My shirt was pink and my what you call it, tunic was navy blue. But then on Peace Day, you wore a blue shirt or a blue t-shirt on Peace Day. And that Jermaine says he has on blue. Yeah. Yeah, shades of blue. Yeah, I remember that. So do you guys used to wear blue on Peace Day? Yeah, so today's Peace Day, and Peace Day observed on the first Tuesday in March annually is being celebrated under the theme The Virtues of Peace. The Violence Prevention Alliance, VPA, in collaboration with its partners, will have a series of activities in celebration of the day, in recognition of the day. And Peace Day was launched in a proclamation ceremony held at King's House in February 1996. In making the proclamation, the Governor General, Sir Howard Cook, lamented the state of rampant indiscipline in the Jamaican society and the fact that it had pervaded the schools. The objective of Peace Day is to create awareness among schools and the public of the need for peace. So for more on how the Violence Prevention Alliance, VPA, is celebrating Peace Day 2024, we're being joined by the Executive Director of the VPA, Dr. Deanna Ashley. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Chona. How are you? Happy Peace Day.
Happy Peace Day. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Living in peace and hoping for Jamaica to have not just a peaceful day, a peaceful month, a peaceful year, and a peaceful year, many years to come.
Indeed.
We're hoping. We're hoping.
Yeah. Dr. Ashley, do students still wear blue on Peace Day across our schools in recognition of the day?
Well, I think that it's a tradition, and hopefully it's being carried on. It's encouraged that everybody wears something blue, not just the children. You know, we all should celebrate Peace Day in one way or another. And blue is a symbol of peace.
Yeah.
But what we do is more important than the color.
Mm-hmm. And why is it important to keep recognizing Peace Day annually and carrying out activities in recognition of that day?
It's really to reinforce the need that for peace, and that we need to find a way to solve our differences and our conflicts through means of discussion and dialogue, and by sharing and caring for one another rather than fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it be within a family, within the community, within the school, or within the country, or between countries. You know, it's peace makes a difference to how we feel, our sense of well-being, and our general health, you know.
Yeah. And talk to us about the theme for this year's Peace Day, the virtues of peace.
Right. What we're encouraging is that people think about what are those things that contribute to peace. And for the purposes of the activities in schools, there's a chart called Virtues of Peace.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a series of words that convey message, a message of peace. So, for instance, care, sharing, being kind, love. Those are words that contribute to peace. Forgive, right? I am sorry. Respect. All of these contribute to improving relationships between individuals and help to convey the message of finding a way to resolve a problem without conflict.
And Dr. Ashley, when you look on the Jamaican society now, do you think there's enough reinforcement of these virtues of peace, caring, sharing, kindness, compassion?
That is why it is necessary every day to reinforce it. You know, every time you wake up in the morning and you meet a friend, you say, "Good morning," right? How's your day? Have a great day. Do you need help?
Mm-hmm.
Can I help you? All of these help to build good relationships. And every day one should be thinking about how can I do better and contribute to improving relationships and building peace.
Mm-hmm. Do you think those common graces among young people is still a common thing for them today? The good morning and the can I help you, the application of emotional intelligence, all of that?
It needs a lot of work, because as you see, everything seems to be I can only find a solution to a problem by fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Arguing and fighting, whether it be verbal abuse or physical abuse. And it's because we seem to have lost the ability to wait. Everybody's in such a rush, you know. You pass somebody in the store and nobody says good morning.
Yeah.
Somebody else pushes their way through and says, you know, and bounces an individual and doesn't say, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because everybody's in a rush into their own self and forget about their other people.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and these simple, what seems to be a simple incident can trigger a major conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that we keep on reminding ourselves and reinforcing it every day that these simple things can help to contribute. It brings respect to other people and sharing and being kind and helping and caring.
What do you say to people, Dr. Ashley, who say, oh, this Peace Day thing is a waste of time, it's irrelevant, why are we still observing it?
I guess it's until they become a victim or they don't understand. But you don't want to wait till you become a victim, right? So and again, it's something you have to inculcate in children from an early age.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure you were taught this, and you grew up knowing that, you know, you should respect other people. You should be kind.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning is saying sorry if you've done something.
Yes.
That, you know, I'm sure from as I say, from you were knee high.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you are being taught this, and it becomes the normal, natural thing to do.
Yeah.
And so, working with children is so important that it becomes their way of life, their behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So that as adults, they know how to deal with a situation where that could arise in conflict by sitting down and discussing a matter in a way that makes at the end of it, I can say, shake hands, say, boy, you're my friend. I don't agree with you, but, you know, never mind. Respect you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I tell you a quick story just before going to the activities that the VP will be focusing on to mark Peace Day this year. That I'm not from the city. I'm from country, St. Elizabeth.
Good.
Yeah. And when I moved to the city for university back in 2012, it was, and I went around saying good morning to everybody. I was passing people in the towns, and I was saying hello, good morning, how are you? And then, you know, I had the wake up moment after a while that, you know, people were just not saying it back really, and seemed so angry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was such a culture shock.
Yeah, right. You know, because how did Miss Jane? How you do this?
Oh yeah, because you grew up hearing in country that, you know, manners carry out far away. So, and your parents instill this thing in you of being caring and courteous and all of that. So you go around asking people how they're doing. You want to hear about their welfare and all of that.
Right.
Yeah. But
And that I'm sure. I mean, I walk through the supermarket. I say good morning. Anybody I pass, I say good morning. But
yes.
It doesn't matter whether they respond. I say good morning, you know, and I mean it. Good morning. How you do?
Yeah, and I was taught this thing of, you know, you look out in the supermarket just to see who might need some small change to make up to buy something, and if you have it on you, you give it over right away. That sort of thing. Yeah. One of those occasions was somebody in a supermarket years ago wanted to buy saltfish and just didn't have enough, and yeah, that practice of looking out, I spot that, and gave over the rest of the money that was needed to purchase the item. So it's the small things within this whole bracket of peace. The caring and the sharing and the kindness that we have to instill in our children from they're very, very young.
As I said, as soon as they begin to understand, it doesn't matter. Even if they can't talk and they're not walking, you're telling them, "Morning, honey, how you doing? Love you." Right?
Yeah. And you can imagine what it does to cheer up somebody, make their day a little bit better.
You go for somebody who isn't well, or you cook something, and you say, "My next door neighbor, I wonder how she's feeling." And we carry some soup for her.
Yeah.
Right? I can cook some soup today. And she will cook and she'll share with you too. You know? It's how that's how I grew up, If you cook a pot of something, you share it with your neighbors.
Yeah. I tell people all the time that whatever yard you played at growing up, that's where you ate dinner.
Yeah, right.
yeah. But Dr. Ashley, what are your activities to mark Peace Day today?
Well, as I said, what we're encouraging everybody to use their own relationship and share kindness and love and care to whoever you meet, right? Whoever you're with today. But at the school level, we encourage them to use the virtues charts, and we've given it to a few schools. And in fact, this morning we're doing an event in Stairtown at the Chalky Hill Primary School in collaboration with the Sandals Foundation and the principal and teachers and the students there. And they're going to actually, the children will actually, after devotion, they discuss the issues and virtues of peace. And then the students themselves will use the words and create their own peace messages.
Yes.
And they will then write up their messages on little pieces of paper, and then decorate their classroom, strings, and cut their messages and decorate their classroom with peace messages.
Yeah.
But a teacher will lead that whole process with them and that discussion. And other schools are going to be doing this, if not today, on days during the month. But it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be today.
It could be any day. Any day it could be discussed. There could be a debate in the high school. It could be a debate on the virtues of peace.
Yeah.
Right? So there's several ways that you can encourage this. Because if we had the time, it could have been an essay competition. There's so many ways, but every single day we should be thinking about those words, those things that we can do. How can we care for each other better? How can we share? If I have a party and my friend don't have a party, then we divide the party in two.
Yeah.
It's the way that we can, in fact, make a better Jamaica.
Dr. Deanna Ashley, who is the Executive Director of the Violence Prevention Alliance, VPA, talking to us about Peace Day. Today is Peace Day. And as I said sometime last year, now what's on my mind, and I will continue to say it, random acts of kindness could also fall into that bracket. Yeah, it's one of the virtues of peace, kindness. So exercise some of that today and every other day. Yeah. But thank you so much, Dr. Ashley, for your time.
You're welcome, and have a great Peace Day.
You have a great Peace Day as well.
Thank you. Good. All
right, bye-bye. I see Musa Burke, is it here on YouTube, who is saying, Manners has taken me around the world, blessings. And Sharon Bless says, peace has to start from the heart. That's true. Yeah, that's true. What's this one? Yeah. So those are your comments. But yeah, exercise some do some random act of kindness today. Perhaps put in your note jar, if you have one too, of why your note jar. You don't have one of those, Jermaine? Like a note jar, a affirmation jar, or anything? Okay. Oh, sorry. But if it is that you do practice those things, Michelle, you don't have an affirmation jar. Oh, Ricardo doesn't have an affirmation jar. You guys should get an affirmation jar. And I'm hearing that people don't go around in Kingston and tell everybody hello. Well, I do it. You know, I still do it, even if they don't say back hello. Jermaine says, "Coming to America." even if they don't say back hello, I still say good morning, good afternoon, how are you? Yeah, do you need any help? Yeah, I help the old people with their bags out the grocery store. I still do those. Yes, I still do those things. Jermaine says he's gonna give me a key to the city. I do deserve a key to the city. Yeah, I still do those things, and I still, up to this day, have the practice of looking out in the supermarket to see if somebody needs, an extra $1 to pay for an item. Yeah, and it happens in Mega Mart all the time. Yeah, why are you gonna break your $100 if you need $20? And I have $20 in my purse. I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah. Anywho.
All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Na 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 na. All right. Yeah. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. All right. Yeah.
The Development Bank of Jamaica provides collateral for your business loan. For more information on their credit enhancement facility, visit www.dbjcef.com. The time by DBJ-CEF is
8:30.
I've been hearing about this constitutional reform thing. You know anything about it?
Yes, constitutional reform is a chance for us to Jamaicanize the constitution.
But how?
Enough things changed since 1962 and we have matured as a nation. So modernizing the constitution will reflect our current societal values.
Oh, a constitution for Jamaicans, approved by Jamaicans.
Are you ready for the journey? Join us on the road to Republic. Think independence, think Republic. A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
Touching lives every day, so many different ways, a part of all you do. Sagicor will make you feel secure, reaching out for more, will always see you through. Reach for more, whatever you're dreaming, whatever your goals, will help you achieve them. You're never alone. Taking care of today's needs, take care of tomorrow's dreams. Every day helping you succeed, that's what Sagicor means. Today's needs, tomorrow's dreams. Sagicor.
Time to pay your tax? Relax! You've got this with your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card. Use your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card to pay your taxes and get a 1-month payment holiday. New cardholders get first-year annual fee waived. Plus, you get up to 55 days interest-free and earn unlimited reward points every time you spend. So when you're ready to pay your tax, relax! You've got this. Use your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card and enjoy the best rewards ever. Conditions apply.
A healthier you is brought to you by Express Fitness, your goal or mission, and Horton's Pharmacy, a family tradition of dispensing and caring for 100 years.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. It's not just Peace Day, but it's also World Obesity Day. Yeah. Oh, it was yesterday. So my producer Michelle is telling me World Obesity Day was yesterday. But today we have a healthier you, and we want to focus on that day, of course. So it's estimated that 1.9 billion people worldwide will be living with obesity by 2035. Yeah, not too far away. And that childhood obesity is expected to increase by 100% between 2020 and 2035. World Obesity Day is a unified day of action that calls for a cohesive cross-sector response to the obesity crisis. The theme for this year's observance was Let's Talk About Obesity. So to discuss the prevalence of obesity is Advocacy Officer at the Global Health Advocacy Project and Heart Foundation of Jamaica, Rosanna Pike. Hey to you, Rosanna.
Donna, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great, thank you.
So my very first question, Rosanna, is just to settle for me, is being overweight and obese the same thing?
And obese, from the technical standpoint, not really, right? So they both refer to the excess accumulation of fat that really presents a health risk, right? But being overweight, we use the body mass index, or BMI for short, to really gauge that. So basically, when someone is overweight, it's basically saying that their BMI is greater than or equal to 25. And obesity now is when the BMI is greater than or equal to 30. So they both refer to the excess accumulation of fat in the body, but it's just the figure that you're looking at on the BMI chart that gauges, the difference.
Mm-hmm. And what are the leading causes of obesity? Is it just that those persons are eating way too much and eating the wrong things, or is it other health conditions that is a factor as well?
Really honest, right? The roots of obesity can be, due to a myriad of factors, and there's no single blueprint addressing it, right? So, as you touched on a few things, biology, the human body has inbuilt mechanisms to protect itself from starvation, which can make it hard to maintain weight loss. And then, of course, there's food, ultra-processed products, which are now pervasively and widely available, which contribute to the rapid rise in obesity. And I mean, we can understand people are, we live in a fast-paced environment right now, an obesogenic environment where everything is all about convenience. So we tend to move towards convenient foods rather than, home-cooked nutritious meals. The genetic risk is also one thing. So our genes account for somewhere between 40 to 70% of the likelihood of developing obesity. And then
wait, you're saying that, all right, so if I have a line of family and the gene structure, they were all obese, there's a possibility I could fall into that basket as well?
40 to 70% chance of you becoming obese later on in life, right? Somewhere along the line.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So take that into account.
Yeah. Have you interacted with people like that? And for some who have not gotten to that space, is it that they realize what was ahead and what did they do to overcome that?
You might, realize it, so they see that, certain, not just obesity, but also related NCDs. There's a genetic predisposition, so they try to take precautionary measures from early on. But then there are some people who just did not take note of it, right? And then later on, when they're diagnosed with one or more of either conditions, then that's when, reality hits them. And then, sometimes it's a bit too late to try and curb it, but then sometimes, they're with it and, they're able to manage it with the assistance of their healthcare provider, dietitian, or nutritionist. So it is a reality, and that's why we say you do not stigmatize people who are overweight or because you never know the root cause of their condition.
Yeah. So you spoke about their genes. That could be one warning sign to say that, buckle down. But are there any other warning signs of obesity?
Sure. So, moving on from the root causes, there are warning signs. So, if you realize that not just being, a little excess weight, you might be having back or joint pains, excessive sweating, persons who are obese are normally intolerant to heat. There's also depression. There's always fatigue, infections in the skin folds, and there's also the high.
Rosanna, did you say infection in the skin?
In the skin folds.
In the skin
right.
folds. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. So because the excess fat accumulating, so the what we call love handles or the pouches.
Yes.
Then some persons, if it's severe, then they might have infection in the skin folds, especially in persons who are suffering from obesity and diabetes. Right. There's also fatigue, depression, shortness of breath, or what we call dyspnea, which is very common in persons living with overweight or obesity, or even difficulty in sleeping. So you have the sleep apnea, daytime drowsiness, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah, and for the Jamaican landscape now, what is the prevalence of obesity here?
With that, Sana. So coming out of the Jamaica Health and Lifestyle Survey 2016 to 2017 and published in 2018, it reported that 1 in every 2 Jamaicans is living with overweight or obese. That's about 54% of the
1 in 2.
1 in 2. And you know what is funny? There was a recent study published just last month that looked at worldwide trends in overweight, underweight, and obesity from 1990 to 2022. And when I looked at that and pulled out the obesity rates in women and men in the Caribbean and looking at Jamaica, it corroborates the results of our Jamaica Health and Lifestyle Survey. For the women, obesity was at 50% throughout that, from 1990 to 2020. It's 50%, and for men, it's about 19%. So we are, when I'm talking to persons and relating the obesity epidemic in Jamaica, I normally say, we're on our way to becoming the heavyweight champion of the Caribbean. We're about to fall off the map, because one can imagine when the Ministry of Health and Wellness or PAHO, they decide to do the next health and lifestyle survey in Jamaica. That last one was published 2018. One can only imagine what the results will be like when they should do the next health survey.
Yeah.
And then looking at our children, the Global School-Based Student Health Survey, it looks at students in the age range of 13 to 17 years, and they saw that there was a dramatic increase in a 7-year period from 2010 to 2017. The obesity in children 13 to 17 years, it increased by 68.3%. So in
did the studies? Go ahead.
I would say so. On average, 23% of our adolescents are overweight and or obese.
Did it say what are the contributing factors as to why our teenagers are obese or overweight?
Sure. So some of the contributing factors that came out that more than 66% of our Jamaican adolescents consume fast food most days of the week, right? And then the sugar-sweetened beverages, those are some of the most commonly or popularly consumed foods among that age group. And sugar-sweetened beverages, we know those can be detrimental to our health, because sugar in liquid form is really dangerous. And it's quickly or easily absorbed by the body. And of course, when the body cannot metabolize the excess sugar, it's going to convert it and store it as fat. And there you have the overweight or obesity coming in.
Yeah. And as you speak about sugar drinks, I know the Ministry of Health had their campaigns trying to curb that a bit. But speak to us, Rosanna, about if there are any policies for obesity in Jamaica and the region.
Policy, yes, there are a wealth or a pool of frameworks in place here in the Caribbean and locally that we're drawing on. So right now in Jamaica, I can say that and the Caribbean, we're focusing on 4 main policy frameworks, such as front of package warning labels, which are just clear, visible warning labels on the front of food and beverage packages, just to say, hey, a product is high in fat, high in salt, high in sodium, just to empower consumers to make more informed choices. There's also the National School Nutrition Policy, which is on the forefront for the Ministries of Health and Wellness and Education and Youth. Right now, it's not yet implemented, but we're hoping that for the upcoming school year, it will be. So it's as I said before, piloted by both ministries to promote and facilitate healthy eating habits and a physically active lifestyle among students 3 to 18 years. So we look at the school food environment, making it better. So implementing school gardens, look at what the canteens are being, providing. Vendors, what they're also selling to the students, or sometimes the littering vendors where applicable, in certain proximities, to the school environment. We are hoping that will be implemented, because it will definitely work well in conjunction with what we have now, which is the sugar drink reduction in schools, which was a major milestone for the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
And so yesterday was World Obesity Day, but it's important to talk about obesity any day. But how was the day observed?
It was observed, globally, with different groups, civil society organizations, non-governmental organizations, corporate entities, just encouraging advocacy, to have policies improved or implemented to ensure that, we are doing something to curb the obesity.
You're going
becoming a pandemic.
Do you have us on speaker, Rosanna? You're going in and out.
Using my earphones. Are you hearing me better?
Oh, you have in your earphones? That's probably what the issue is. I'm not sure. Just for the last question, because I want to hear why you chose that theme, or is it a Jamaican-centered theme, or was this the global theme? Let's talk about obesity and with an ellipses.
So
that was the global theme?
The theme, right.
Okay.
So it was a theme coined by the World Obesity Federation. And as you mentioned in the conversation, or to start cross-cutting conversations, because there are so many angles you could take it from. So they left it there. Let's talk about obesity, and you could fill in the gap there to see what you want to pair obesity with. So for us here at the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, amongst some of our partners such as UNICEF, our theme was let's talk about obesity and the need for healthy school food environments, focusing on the need for the implementation of the National School Nutrition Policy. So as I said before, it's let's talk about obesity and you could fill in the gap. We can talk about obesity and healthcare crises, obesity and youth, obesity and probably gender affairs, and the list goes on and on.
So finally now, Rosanna, for persons out there, parents, children, teenagers, they are they're obese, or they know somebody who's obese, when they need help to address their challenge, who can they reach out to? How can they access help?
Okay, sure. So if you're a person living with obesity or overweight, all is not lost. That's the first thing I would say. So the first thing is to do is to speak with your healthcare provider. Visit your physician or family doctor. Continue to know your 4 health numbers, because those are critical in knowing where you stand. So continue to assess your BMI, blood pressure, blood sugar, and blood cholesterol, because all those are critically important. And once all those numbers are known, your healthcare provider will work with you to, devise a plan to help you reach your goal, and also working in conjunction with your nutritionist to create, a desired meal plan to help you meet your needs. There are also cases where, obesity and the whole mental health, because of the stigma attached to it, reach out to the Ministry of Health and Wellness's, help contact line, or if you have access to a counselor, you can go ahead to do so. Get some motivational support from your closest friends, family members, and I would like to encourage persons, not to turn to coping mechanisms that will go ahead and exacerbate the situation, such as, smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, or comfort foods, which are the fat, sugars, and salt. So all is not lost. Help is available. Just step one foot out there, seek it, and you'll be good.
Yeah, a good way to leave it on. Rosanna Pike, who is the Advocacy Officer at the Global Health Advocacy Project and the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, talking to us about obesity, and World Obesity Day was observed yesterday. Thank you so much, Rosanna.
My pleasure, Tana. Have a great day.
You too. Gonna take a break and come back with your birthdays.
A healthier you was brought to you by Express Fitness, your goal or mission, and Horton's Pharmacy, a family tradition of dispensing and caring for 100 years.
Did you know that many of my schoolmates have an unhealthy diet, especially at school? And now 23% of them are overweight and or obese? And so one less sugary drink at my school may mean one friend less,
or two or three,
at risk of cavities or diabetes. And if we're served less foods high in saturated fats, sugar and sodium, it may reduce our risk from obesity, heart disease and high blood pressure.
The solution is simple, right? Act now.
Let's get unhealthy foods and beverages out of our schools.
A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
I wanna be in your life until the night is over. I wanna hold you so tight, coming closer. It's been a hell of a ride, but every single moment you were there by my side. Whenever I'm broken, you make me feel whole. Whenever I'm lonely, you're there for my soul. Wherever you are, girl, that's where I call my own. Whenever you doubt it, I'll be letting you know. Oh, girl, I want to be dancing with you forever. You see through the storm and take me as I am. Baby, it's magic anytime that we're together. I make I just love you and hold you for my hand. Hold you for my hand. Hold you for my hand. Hold you for my hand.
Over and over again, yeah, my love is burning, babe. Feels like time is frozen and night is for us. We're alone again, every moment's golden, yeah. Feelings I've been holding in, it must be love.
Whenever I'm broken, you make me feel whole. Whenever I'm lonely, you're there for my soul. Wherever you are, girl, that's where I call my own. Whenever you doubt it, I'll be letting you know. Oh, girl, I want to be dancing with you forever. You sit through the storm and take me as I am. Baby, it's magic anytime that we're together. I make her just love you and hold you for my hand. 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 Hold you for my hand.
It's that time of the morning when we tell some very special people happy birthday and happy anniversary. Happy birthday to our friends on Facebook: Cherry Mitchell, Abigail Henry, Camille King, Nina Catherine Olives, Patrina Clark, Carlene Ferguson. Happy birthday to Carlene Ferguson, aka Tapita. Is that it? Happy birthday to you. You're a VVIB, a very, very important birthday, yeah? Here, Tapita is over there at Norma's in Whitehall, or on Whitehall Avenue. The greetings coming from your kids, your grandkids, all your family, and your friends. And they're saying, big up yourself, Carlene. Happy, happy birthday to you. And happy birthday as well to Patrina Brown. Happy birthday to you, Patrina, over there on Facebook. Hope you have a great day as well. And on YouTube, Herman Hyatt. Morning to you, Herman. She's sending happy birthday greetings to Dart Affleck, aka Joy, wishing her a wonderful birthday. And just remember, your sister Herman loves you endlessly. So happy, happy birthday to Herman's sister Joy. Yeah, Dart Affleck, aka Joy. Hope you have a really good day. Checking to see if there are any more birthdays. And are you celebrating your anniversary today? Do let us know so that we can wish you a special one. Yeah. And Jermaine, I've gotten your special message. It's 11 days to Jermaine's birthday. From now until March 16, we're partnering with your wife, Patrice. Good morning to you, Patrice. to have you guess where she's taking you for your birthday weekend. Each day, you'll get a letter of the alphabet to help you figure it out, yeah? Remember the letters you got so far were T, A, I, and W, yeah? Today's hint, Jermaine, the pathway to heaven takes 59 steps. Today's letter is S. Do you have any idea where? And it's not Dubai. That's all the message is. Stop talking about Dubai. It's not Dubai. But you can keep guessing. But your letter for today from Patrice is S. And Pat, this song is for you.
I found a love for me. Well, darling, just dive right in, follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time, but darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes.
Some more birthdays. Arlene Rowe, hey to you, Arlene, sending happy birthday blessings to, she says, my wonderful, handsome cousin Laurel Williams, head of King Alarm Securities in St. Anne. Happy birthday to you, Laurel, from your cousin Arlene. She says, love you, cuz. So happy birthday to you. And Sharon Bless saying her daughter's birthday, Sharona's birthday, was yesterday. Okay. Belated birthday greetings to you, Sharona, from your mom, Sharon Bless. Hope you had a really, really awesome birthday. Just checking to see if there are any more birthdays. Beverly West sending happy birthday to her husband, Brian. Happy birthday to you, Brian, from your lovely wife, Beverly West. Hope you have a really good day as well. And Marcel King sending happy birthday greetings to Mr. Lee. It's his 90th birthday today. Happy birthday to you, sir. Coming from your children, your grand and great grandson as well. And they're saying to you, love you so much. I have one final one in my WhatsApp chat. Just pulling it up. So happy birthday, special happy birthday to Sharika Gordon. Happy birthday to you, Sharika, celebrating your birthday today. Wishing you all the best. And I'm being told that you're a big baller at UE. Yeah, you play for UE. Mona. So happy birthday to you, Sharika Gordon. Hope you have a really, really special one. And Bar Drac on YouTube sending birthday wishes to a great friend, Brad of J&. Bank, Spanish Town. Happy birthday to you, Brad, coming from the Drackets family. So happy birthday to you, Brad.
My arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When I saw you in that dress, looking so beautiful, I don't deserve this, darling. You look perfect tonight.
That's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning. NTM, the big show. Thanks so much to our technical operator and the musical maestro, Jermaine King. Thanks to our super producer, Michelle McCrae Smith. Thanks to our editor, KP, who is on the afternoon shift for the next 2 weeks, I believe. Cara Powell, good morning to you. And thanks to it as well to my co-host, Ricardo Brooks, who had to step out. Yeah, I'm Tona Thomas. Up next, you have the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton. And at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. Good morning.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
She looks perfect. I don't deserve this. You look
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Local governance falls under the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. The Minister of Local Government and Community Development